Whether the horns are up or the horns are down, it's a beautiful day in Houston, and it's scorching too. 91 degrees, humidity at 31%, not much wind to speak of, and it will be the largest crowd this season, a sellout. If you look at the series history, first meeting back in 02, Texas, of course, leading the series 67-2. And yes, indeed, Jack Martin, the Alabama transfer, will handle the kicking chores as Keelan Robinson is back deep, flanked by Jordan Whittington. Houston won the toss, deferred, and the Horns will get it first. First sellout here since 2016 when Louisville came in. The old American Conference foe when they were at their best, and it's through for a touchback, and they'll bring it out to the 25, and here comes Quinn Ewers, the sophomore from South Lake, Texas. He's just been dominant at the position, with the possible exception of those early mistakes in the Red River rivalry. 70% his completion percentage, 1,704 yards all told. And you see the touchdown and the pass to touchdown interception ratio where it is at 11-3.
And he's got a strong supporting cast at receiver and running back, ready to unleash them.
Yeah, an embarrassment of riches, really. And on first down, Worthy, his top target. And he is ushered out of bounds at the 35. Moved the chains, a first down on the first play. Brian George, number 16, took him out. And you see that Jake Majors, who was nicked up, I know you were surprised to hear that he could go today, and you believe that's going to be a real key today, how that Houston middle plays against an outstanding offensive line, particularly Majors, as Gunnar Helm makes that catch, a gain of 6.
Yeah, Gunnar Helm is just one of the tight ends that'll get involved in it. And you can see on those three lists here, there's another guy that's kind of in a hybrid position, Tim. We're going to have our eyes focused on all of them today. Jadavian Sanders, the tight end. We call him an H. He wears number 0. That guy, along with 85, you just saw Gunnar there make the completion. Those two positions will be able to stress this back end for the Cougars.
Chidozie Nwankwo is that big zero technique that can be a dominant force. And here on the edge and breaking free for a big gain, Jonathan Brooks, who they didn't know could be durable enough to carry it 20 times. But after they lost Baxter in that Alabama game, he's been toting the rock a lot.
Yeah, well, Isaiah Hamilton, number 23, the boundary corner. And that just basically means the wide side of the field is going to get a heavy dose of this. So he needs to get ready for this and buck up.
First and 10 at the 48 of Houston. Well, it looks like we have a pre-snap penalty. Marker comes down. It'll be a false start.
Unfortunate.
False start, number 78, offense, 5-yard penalty. First down.
Let's take a look, Spencer, at the 3 to watch on the defensive side for the Cougars.
Well, the Cougars, their strength is up front, right? There's no question about it. Malik Fleming, though, on the edge, he will be hauled up in run support. Chidozie Nwankwo will be another guy in there, and Caldwell, number 93. Those three tandems will be the guys that have to stop that upside game.
Brooks wrapped up at midfield, so they get a couple of the yards back from the penalty. Jamal Morris making the stop, number 25, at that Mike linebacker. They'll give him 3 on the play, so it's second down and 12 coming up.
Yeah, Malik Fleming will be the nickel back. That was the first guy in those trio that we just looked at, number 15. He will be active as well, along with the aforementioned Isaiah Hamilton, the 23.
It is a patchwork back end, as you mentioned, Spence.
Yep.
They move a lot of guys around. Doug Belk, the defensive coordinator of this team, they've relinquished a lot of yards. There was a mess up on that snap and actually got the man in motion, Whittington, and bounced off him. But it was corralled by Ewers, and Morris will make the stop. It'll be third down and 8 coming up after a gain of 4. Watch this.
Yeah, watch DJ Campbell, right, number 52. He turns his inside block, does a nice job of getting this guy pushed out of the way. Minimal gain, but what it shows you is what Tim pointed out just a moment ago. That front for Houston has to be dominant. They're getting moved around so far.
Whittington actually just disrupted the snap. Ewers could not find the handle.
Just a 3-man front.
Oh, they got away. Brooks got away. And he's going to have the first down, it would appear, at the 38-yard line. You know, Houston's got to dodge third down. They got to find a way of dodging it because they have relinquished many third down conversions. That's Webu, number 12, that made the stop.
Well, Chidozie Nwankwo, number 10, Timmy, the guy in the center of that front, just missed on that last play.
Sure did.
Those near misses, they can't happen. I mean, he's got to be the difference maker. If Texas can have its way in the between those tackles, it's going to be a long afternoon.
He checks out. Baxter has come in, and a play fake by Ewers. Goes to the check down. It's C.J. Baxter. Able to get away from that first defender. Yards after contact. Malik Robinson finally shoved him out. A gain of 4. That one could have gone nowhere.
Yep, and I just mentioned 3 plays ago, Isaiah Hamilton, number 23. They're going to continue to come to that side. Even though it was the short side of the field, they're going to challenge him.
Transfer from Texas Southern is Hamilton. And once again, Baxter burrows ahead to about the 30-yard line of Houston. They'll need 2 more for another first down. Agwebu again, number 12, making the stop.
And what Quinn wants to do now is he gets them down here on the front porch around the 20-yard line into the red zone. You can't let the offense get away from you at that point in time, right? You got to score. Don't do what happened against Oklahoma. Throw an interception down here. Some funky looks are going to come your way. Because Doug Belt, the defensive coordinator, he knows he's got to dig deep. That's why he's going to the sideline right now to get a third opinion. This is a true 12th man scenario right here. This is Sark calling the play.
Houston ranks 120th in third down conversion rate. That pass was tipped into the air, and it goes incomplete. But they are in 4-down territory, and you can bet Sark is going to consider that. Ball was tipped away by Webu.
And Doug Belt is pretty salty too, Timmy. He'll throw some funky looks. The guy that's just been getting picked on, Isaiah Hamilton, the corner boundary, he's the guy that comes in there and makes an opportunity, right? That's how you make the play. If you can't get to the quarterback, affect the direction of the ball.
It was Hamilton, I beg your pardon. We got a piece of that one, number 23, who's been picked on. And they are going on 4th and 2. Trips to the bottom of your screen. The tight end Sanders, the middle receiver. Quick out, they go right to Worthy. Look at him go down the sideline. Knocked out right at the 15-yard line, a healthy gain, and A.J. Halsey, who was everywhere in that West Virginia game, what a performance he had. Led them in tackles in that game.
Yep. Watch Adonai Mitchell, Timmy, the Z receiver, number 5, come out here and block on the edge, right? Great job of just mirroring the guy. He spins him around. Doesn't need to get a whole lot, right? You call those guys pencil necks out there, those little skinny guys, but they'll block, man. The physical guys, this is a different Texas unit right here. All of them will get after you big time.
Pistol look here. We know about Sark being an elite play caller. Look at this. In the corner, it is caught. Touchdown. Adonai Mitchell, and he was wide open. His 5th touchdown reception.
Well, his name is special, and his mom gave it to him for a reason. He could have used some help on this one right here. Adonai, man, just got turned around to that outside that corner. Ball thrown over his shoulder. Just a misread on the back end.
Yeah, they were calling him at Georgia before he transferred, AD. Mama said, listen, I want to hear that name.
I want my baby to be known.
Absolutely. And Adonai is a biblical name.
Yes, it is.
We're done here, God.
And we've got the extra point good. And the Horns take it right down the field. 75 yards. And he could not be more wide open, could he? He leads the Horns with touchdown catches with 5. 7-0, Texas. Fox College Football is sponsored by Bear Paint. 7-0 our score. Texas marches 75 yards in 11 plays. And let's get the Geico game plan. Easy mode game plan sponsored by Geico. It's easy to Geico.
Well, we were just kind of set the table, and for Donovan Smith, he's got to respond, right? He's not as sudden as Dylan Gabriel is, but he is big, and he's strong, and he's physical, and mobile. That's the most important thing. Can they find a solution to keep him contained? And then ultimately, as far as Houston is concerned, hyper-disruptive on defense. We saw in the first series for Texas what not doing that will do. Leads to that 11-play scoring drive you just mentioned.
Nice job by Will Stone, who handles the kickoffs. He kept it out of Matthew Golden's hands. He's had 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns. As you look at Donovan Smith, his numbers have really picked up. And, of course, he's hoping, and so is his head coach, Dana Holgerson, that that's 16 straight completions in his last outing, the final one, a Hail Mary variety, that found its way into Stephon Johnson's arms for the win against West Virginia, that they could keep that going, keep that streak alive, and answer the Texas score.
And that interception to touchdown ratio, you can work with that 13/3, Tim. That's a pretty impressive number.
Parker Jenkins is in the backfield with him. Play fake, Donovan on a rollout. Look out, he's got a man deep. It's Samuel Brown. He dropped it.
Holy cow.
Now, that's the one thing you cannot have happen when you're trying to play a perfect game against a team that has more ammunition than you.
I mean, he had the high pointed, the great nod, gets outfield, get upfield, and gets redirected. That was Terrence Brook, the field corner who he put the little move on. You got to go catch that one, man. If you're going to take the effort and the energy to high point that ball, then you waste a block by a great offensive lineman on that one to get protection. Tough.
Struggled some in the early part of the West Virginia game, but came on strong late, as did everyone. That first incompletion should have been a completion. But now we got a marker down and a flag to go with it, and this is a very difficult start as Alfred Collins, 95, got through there with the pressure for Texas, and we'll check the marker here. Our referee, Michael Vandervelde.
And since we're in the postseason, Tim, and they're batting 1,000, right? In the first two plays, and that's what they could ill afford to do, Tim. Got a guy drops one, that's self-inflicted. Here's another
Personal
holding.
foul. Face mask number 74. Offense. Penalties decline. Third down.
Yeah,
Ruben Unije, the guilty party. Collins really ripped through there with a magnificent move, number 95.
And you almost can't fault 74 Ruben. He does a great job of saying, look, you're going to get to my quarterback. I can't let you do that. And does everything he could. Tank Jenkins is in there right guard. He could have gotten called as well.
And they're behind the sticks now. 3rd and 18. They go empty with 5 wides. I'm going to put it out there to Matthew Golden, see what he could do to get back some of that yardage. But they will have to punt it away. And this is not at all the answer Dana Holgorsen was looking for from his offense. And it all went downhill after the drop pass by Brown.
Yeah, so big picture what's happening here. Now, Dana's going to have to go in his bag of tricks and kind of get out of the comfort mode. He wants to, and I knew he knew it was a stretch, to keep this game fairly low scoring so he can stay within the framework of his run-oriented attack. But now he's got to go get points now, because I tell you, Texas is going to get him big time.
Well, statistically, too, this is a mismatch with the incredible number of offensive talent that you see with the Longhorns, and you know, a patchwork defense in so many ways in that secondary. They're going to have to get some takeaways, and their receivers are going to have to grab the ball when it's thrown in their hands. 4th and 14. Wilkins will punt it away. Should get it off around his 10. But Xavier Worthy back deep.
Nice.
High spiraling punt. Backs him up to his 32. Good blocking as he looks to go towards the boundary, and then a great conversion defensively.
Isaiah Hamilton.
Yes, it was Hamilton. 47-yard boot, a 6-yard return. Oh, what might have been for the Cougs. Still early, 8:32 remaining opening period. Fox College Football is sponsored by Geico. It's easy to Geico. Sold out to capacity here at TDECU Stadium. Second drive for the Horns. They went 80 yards, 75, 458, 7 points in their first opportunity. Houston -4, no points, and only 90 seconds off the clock. Look at that move by Jonathan Brooks. It truly is an embarrassment of riches. That foot in the ground, Spence, and one quick slide got him 9 yards when a mere mortal would have been stoned there.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. Again, but Alex Hogan, the field corner, Doug Belk, the defensive coordinator, throwing up some funky stuff.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
There goes Brooks again. He has the first down. And just like that, they're back into Houston territory after a gain of 49. Jamal Morris with the stop.
Well, the problem is, Kelvin Banks Jr., that left tackle, they're just smothering up these U of H linemen, man. And they're trying to get their arms out there to tackle these backs, but they just can't do it. I mean, this line has been nicked up all year long, but boy, they sure look good, and continuity's there, Tim.
Big time. Time to heal really helped. That open date. Brooks on the check down, taking it out of the backfield down to the 42. Morris again, converging to make the stop with a little assistance from Brian George, number 16, and another healthy gain of 7.
Jamal did about as much as he could, just played with leverage and allowed the back end support to help him with the sideline, Tim. For you youngsters out there, that you don't have to do anything heavy lifting on that one. Just allow the defensive structure to work for you. That back can't go anywhere but upfield or out of bounds.
Play fake. Going for Worthy. He's got it. It's touchdown.
I tell you, Brian George sitting back there, number 16. He's at the field corner this time, right? He looks in and just gets a beat behind, right? And that little enough is just enough to get him behind him. I mean, that's great job, Worthy. I mean, that's the reason why he's that #1 receiver out there at X. He's got great speed, great length, and great understanding of where he is on the field. Ball plays perfectly.
Yours already 9 of 10 for 110 and 2 touchdown passes.
Well, he nailed the open. He did exactly what we said he needed to do, right?
He sure did.
We're done here, guys. We're done here.
Burt Auburn with the extra point. And it's 14-0. I mean, he put that right in the pocket, Spencer T.
This is what you call a dime, Timmy B. And he said, what heat, what heat? Milo Hamilton say, it's hotter than a T-post stove. But it didn't bother viewers. He came in cooking, baby. Oh, yeah.
That's for you, Astros fans. Above and Beyond, sponsored by Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above. You've seen how Xavier is worthy already, and Samuel Brown has been leading this Houston team, and he dropped what would have been a huge pass play early on, and then Houston was 3 and out right after that. They're going to have to answer, and Steve Sarkisian indicated this to us today, and here's what he said earlier in the week about his club's mental state.
I feel like I've got a team right now that's a little pissed off, and that's okay, you know, that they're angry, and they want to get back on the field. They want to play.
By the way, Daryl K. Royal said this: only angry people win football games. The great Texas coach, who we all knew and loved, Kyle Flood, the offensive line guru and coordinator, is getting a little bit of help with that offensive line. We'll talk a little bit more about how and why in a few moments. Parker Jenkins takes that one ahead on first down for Houston. They really need to muster something here. Devondre Sweat, number 93, all 362 pounds of him, out of Huntsville, Texas, with the tackle.
Yeah, Houston could use a number 7 Mike's way right about now, Timmy, on this drive. They could use those points and get loosened up a little bit and stop believing this narrative, man.
Golden goes split wide to the top of your screen. He has 4.4 speed, and Donovan's going to roll that way. Throws it towards the corner. It's incomplete. Intended for Golden. Up at the 35-yard line, and Gavin Holmes was all over.
He was close, man. I'm going to tell you, the proximity of these defenders to the ball carrier or the receiver, as the case may be, is unbelievable. That's one indicator that lets you know that these guys are elite athletes. There are no gaps between them and they would-be tackle defenders or receivers.
That was a wee bit early, but when you're that physical and that good.
This is a good Texas team.
Oh, is it ever?
I can tell.
I ranked them number 1 after the Bama game. I just thought they looked better than everyone they played, and of course OU beat them. OU had some rust today in their game with UCF. They managed to get out, but I don't see any rust in this Texas team.
Yeah, that soundbite you commented on about Sark and talking about his team being angry and that being okay.
Yeah.
Was important as they kind of sorted out the chain malfunction here, but that means he knows his team, Tim. Yeah. Take a look at this chain malfunction, see if we can figure out what happened to it. They got a little cheek knotted up in it. It rolled on it, man. Big fellas out there.
You ever had one of those problems in your house with the blinds?
Oh, yeah.
They get all messed up. That happened with the chains there.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Fox College football is sponsored by Pacific Life, creating financial security for more than 150 years, and by Chili's 3 for Me, the best $10.99 you can eat. Well, Texas opponents have only converted, Spencer, 27% of their third downs this year. That's 8th best in the FBS. This chain problem has given Houston a little more time to come up with perhaps a play to get them their first down.
So it's a no catch, right? And they'll
We're going to bury those chains have been buried.
And they'll be going to the
May they rest in peace. Empty backfield for Donovan Smith, and that pass for Manjack was too high and a little behind him. And again, outstanding coverage. That is a very salty secondary. That's Crawford that was in hot pursuit.
Yeah, Caden Crawford on the crossing route or the drive route. That ball is high. Manjack has got some height on him, Tim, but he has to reach behind him on that one. That ball off the mark just a little bit. And if there's any critique or any challenge or aspect of the game of Donovan Smith, it would just be that accuracy component, right?
Yeah.
We haven't seen his run game yet tonight, but they're behind 8 ball. We may not see a whole lot of it.
Lane Wilkins will punt it away. Xavier Worthy is back deep.
Behind you, behind you, behind you.
This is a poor punt off the side of his foot. But he does get a healthy bounce. Well, that really helped him out because it looked like it was angling out of bounds. Instead, it fell. And Chase the Rings is sponsored by K. Celebrate every moment with K. A lot of rings there, my man.
Yes, sir.
Most wins in college football history. Texas, as we touched on, without question, the most celebrated and decorated program in this state.
Well, as you pointed out, Tim, there's been a lot of change as Dana Holgorsen claps his team on, but there's been a lot of change in college football, but the currency is still, as Steve Sarkisian looks on, currency is tradition, right? And those teams you just showed had a bunch of it.
Steve Sarkisian, now in his 3rd season, seems to have built the kind of culture that's going to last a long, long time. As Brooks is stopped behind the line of scrimmage this time, and that's really what Houston needs. Ugwebu, number 12, gets through there, no gain. So it will be 2nd and 10. When they got hot against West Virginia defensively, they were getting tackles for losses on 1st down.
Well, you can see the reduction down on the inside. And Ugwebu was involved in that as well, but also Jamari Caldwell, number 93, got in there as well, Tim. And so those guys double teaming. That's where the pressure has got to come from, those interior 3.
Texas averaging 9.5 yards per play so far, and that's even after that stop after no gain. They only get 1 this time, and Brooks is stopped by Brooks. Antonio, number 20, against Jonathan, 24, and it'll be 3rd down and 9.
And they've got Antonio Brooks back in that banded safety position, and that's one where they'll move around a little bit, and it's for the express purpose of doing exactly what he did there. With that smaller body type, he's able to knife in there and make plays.
It's early, partner, but this is a key 3rd down for the Houston defense.
They're going to stay in like a cover 2 deep. They're going to get out of it. Doug Belt, the defensive coordinator for Houston, is trying to show them full look, showing a 4 cross, and then bail out of it into something more conservative. 3 deep.
Yep. Ewers flushed from the pocket, plenty of green grass. Look out. And he stopped. I think about a yard, maybe 2, well, more than that. Perhaps 3 to 4 yards shy of the 1st down, and it's Ugwebu that ran him down. Big David, 6'4", 250 out of Katy, Texas. His discipline was a key in that series for Houston defensively.
Well, it was 6 yards, but that was won by Doug Belt. He's playing chess right now with his coverage. He had as many as 4 guys back, but at the snap of the ball is when they changed and gave a different look. So Quinn didn't diagnose it early enough to make his read, so that was problematic.
Is that the umbrella Ella defense?
It can be, certainly.
Ryan Sanborn boots it. Malik Fleming back deep. No fair catch call. Look out. Boy. He spun. It was a spin, baby, spin. And he brings it out to the 28-yard line. He does not like calling fair catches. A 14-yard return, and he did that all on his own.
Timmy, from the gunner's perspective, the guy that's back there, right, trying to make a play, a little slight touch in the back, but when you go past the guy that makes the return and you don't make it, and another white jersey pass, if you got 3 or more, that's a chance for a big play. Texas is fortunate, but again, they cover so well, they're so athletic, they were able to, in mid-stride, recover and make a play.
That was Keelan Robinson, the gunner that had the opportunity. This helps them a bit, gives them better field position up at the 29-yard line. Stacey Sneed is the setback. Manjack is in the slot up at the top of your screen.
See what Pete Kwiatkowski, the defensive coordinator for Texas, has in mind.
A little wide receiver screen. They go right to Sneed. They'll line up at that wide receiver spot out of the backfield many times. Trying to complete that quick pass, get the ball out fast. Donovan Smith is a much better quarterback when he gets rid of the ball quickly.
Oh, you noticed that. That's a very good get by you, Tim, because it's the quick game. I was charting the plays last week, and I think there were 75 plays when I stopped that. There's no question about it. When he's in rhythm and they've got that quick tempo game going, that's when he's his best.
Well, the near ref signaled 1st down, and it is 1st and 10. And they try to go to the wide side. Hard to go sideline to sideline against this Texas defense. Stacey Sneed is wrapped up by a host of Longhorns. Justice Finkley, number 1, the first to get there. Out of Hewitt-Trussville, Alabama.
Well, Stacey Sneed can flat out fly. He's got slight of build, about 185, right? 5'10" or so. But, man, these guys on Texas defense, you're not going to go side to side, as you pointed out, Parter, and outrun them. These guys right here are elite.
Malik Muhammad now in press coverage working on Samuel Brown, who had the drop earlier.
They got pressed both sides.
And there's a crossing pattern that was almost picked off. Manjack, the intended receiver, again, the ball thrown behind him. And it was nearly intercepted by Derek Williams, number 2.
And, Tim, that's the second time we've seen Manjack on the bad side of a play. That one was thrown high and away. That one was low in the dirt on the drive routes coming opposite direction. So the quarterback has got to get his vision proper and his accuracy down to get that quarterback relationship with the receivers the where it needs to be.
And here they are again facing a 3rd and long. 3rd down and 12. Advantage Texas. Sneed again moves out of the backfield into the slot left. Here comes pressure. We haven't seen him run it yet. That pass is thrown. And we got a marker down back at the 30-yard line, which is where you'd see holding, and we'll check the marker here. I see a despondent, Ruben Unije, number 74. We'll check it out.
Yeah, the big fellow looked a little bit
he did, didn't he? That was a guilty look.
Yep.
Holding, number 74. Offense, penalties decline. 4th down.
Perhaps it's because I've looked guilty many times in my life.
Get your hand in the cookie jar.
Yeah,
right?
that'll mean it's 4th down and a punt formation coming up.
Well, he's got big hands, and there's no way you're going to hide his hands. And you're holding against those white jerseys, they're going to see it, man, every time. And unfortunately, that stops the drive. They needed to move the change, Tim.
Yeah, they really did.
It's just these self-inflicted wounds.
Well, they got off to a very slow start against West Virginia, you might recall. You can afford that against the Mountaineers. I don't know that you can against a team like Texas. Xavier Worthy awaits. We're bringing everything, and another one off the side of the foot, and this one will not go very far at all. Just an awful punt.
To let a pressure affect you. You don't have to necessarily block it, but if you can get in the head of the punter, you go ahead and go through your rhythm. Keep your head down on the ball and put your foot in it. If they happen to knock you down, you're going to get the flag for it, right?
You could fry an egg on Dana's head right now. Not happy at all.
Execute, man.
16 yards it nets on that punt. So it goes from their 42 to the Texas 42. That is it.
Yeah, and the things that Dana needs to do to take that next step up in this conference, newly minted for this program, has nothing to do with that, right? It's really about facilities and other things.
Play fake again for Ewers. Plenty of time. No pressure at all with 3 men rushing. That pass on the check down is to Baxter, and he gets ahead for 3. Good coverage, though, deep in that secondary for Houston.
I think it was Jamal Morris in the back there, number 25, making a great open field tackle. And I'll tell you, Tim, for a guy that's about 225, that's an athletic move for him because they move him around in the middle, but you don't expect him to perform that well when faced with a guy that's 30 pounds less than he is. That's a great athleticism.
This is the second game in a row he started over Trimarcus Cheeks. 2nd down and 6.
And they've got him standing up on the edge now.
Baxter, just one quick move and take off.
Hey, we're done here, guys.
And he's inside the 45 to the 43, and Halsey again making the stop. His given name is Adore. Right here in Houston, Texas, the sophomore, an 11-yard gain.
See, watch 25 on the edge. He works well inside. When you've got him covered up with a big, either a tight end or a lineman, it's usually problematic. So you got to be judicious how you use those hybrid players, Tim. You put them over a big guy that weighs 60 pounds or more, it can be trouble.
Baxter again. Marker down. And holding on for dear life is Halsey again. He took a ride with Baxter for about 5 yards, a gain of 10, but hold everything.
Holding, number 85. Offense, 10-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
Gunnar Helm, the tight end, 250-pound junior from Inglewood, Colorado. Prepped at Cherry Creek there, was guilty.
Well, you see where Hunter here is on the edge, the farthest man on the line of scrimmage. He's detached, so when he goes up to that second level, It's Morris again. They've moved him to either side. He's more athletic than that tight end, so he's going to try to hang on as long as he can.
Well, these Cougars are going to move around. I mean, Mike linebackers can look like Sam and Will many times over. Here goes Brooks.
Okay, we're done here, guys.
We got much of that yardage back on an 11-yard jaunt. Malik Robinson, number 8 with the stop.
And I love Jatavian Sanders, the tight end, right in front of him, number 0, Tim. It's just that burst, that speed that you're going to see. Watch 0 come in after the guard pulls, and then 0's right behind him. That little tandem group right there, little big guy, kick out block. And then watch Jatavian on the other side, upfield. I mean, that's how you work together in tandem.
First quarter's been all Texas. Ewers with time. There's the big fella. Jatavian with a first down. Sanders reels it in. The junior from Denton, Texas, Ryan High School there. Stopped by Hassan Hippolyte, another one of those hybrids you talk about in Doug Belk's secondary.
Yeah, Jatavian has been banged up, Tim, but he's healthy now, and he's looking real good.
Cougars had a great run out, dropped the first pass, and it's been all Texas throughout. They lead by 14. Pacific Life Game Summary, sponsored by Pacific Life, creating financial security for more than 150 years. Look at that. I mean, 198 yards to 13, 9 first downs to 1, time of possession 10:56 to 4:04. Quinn Ewers, out of the Manning Passing Academy, put on a clinic in that first quarter. 11 of 12, 137 yards. And there's the other tight end, Gunnar Helm. A little out pattern. Speaking of tight ends, Jatavian Sanders was wide open on that previous play.
Yeah, and that last play, it was actually a zone front. Look, right, Hassan Hippolyte, right, one of the stars of special team, former starter, perhaps not as sharp right now because he's not getting every down. Got caught between that coverage, and they just found a little soft spot between those two banjo defenders. When we mean banjo, just literally think of a banjo between your body and your arm. Captured between those two responsibilities, you've got to play it a lot tighter.
2nd and 3. Baxter right up the gut. And he is close to the necessary yardage. Malik Robinson with the stop. Appears that he may be a little shy, but not by much.
Tim, that type of coverage that we just shot from the tight end a minute ago, it's got to be tighter. You got to hold that coverage a lot tighter and closer to criminal. You have great elite athletes like Texas does. And believe me, Jatavian Sanders is an elite tight end. 3rd
and inches, the whole playbook wide open here. You have to expect they'd go on 4th down. Look out. Here's Baxter inside the 5 and down to the 4. Well, Robinson again with the stop. And after they get first downs, Texas loves to go quickly.
Well, I don't care who it is, if it's Malik Robinson or anybody, you cannot wait on these runners. You got to go attack them on the opposite side of the ball.
1st and goal, Baxter again. Feed and fan the big fella and go behind that huge offensive line. And they burrow ahead to about the 1-yard line, a gain of 3. Those big uglies, Kyle Flood, who I've known for a long time, UF2 Spencer, former head coach at Rutgers, and also a lot of other places, but he's proud, and he's getting some help this year. An old quarterback from Wisconsin that we know quite well, Paul Christ, has been hired as an offensive analyst for this team with Texas.
You know, I'm surprised at the impact he said Paul was having. Again, that's not to disparage him. It's just a different cat, man. Didn't think he was that.
Savion Red is in the game. Look out. He got it. And he's in for the touchdown. The sophomore from Grand Prairie, Texas, takes it in for the touchdown. His first touchdown of the year.
Well, Tim, when you start getting some of these guys who are not frontline players in their scoring,
this direct snap,
testy, man. Just a direct snap to him. He goes right in. That's a look they've not seen before. Caught him by surprise. Excellent play selection to put the dagger in early.
Well, Sark said he was going to be getting some reps for a lot of guys in this game if he possibly could, and that's an example right there.
It's part of what you got to do in this new era of football.
Speaking of, there's potential we could see the debut of a celebrated star freshman a little bit later on in today's game. You like that teaser?
Yeah, and I love this block even more. Watch this wham block coming in there, Timmy. Get inside. When you're determined, all it takes is a little extra effort. Hook 'em.
College football is sponsored by Geico. It's easy to Geico. Well, in the 2 prior games that we've had, Spencer, whenever they were struggling, and Houston has struggled some of the games we've had, look at the scoring drive there, 9 plays, 58 yards with Red taking it in. Matthew Golden has come to the rescue with kickoff returns. Did it against TCU, did it against West Virginia. He's back deep, and this one looks to be returnable. Here he is from the 3. Nothing doing this time. A bunch of horns all arriving in a bad humor. I mean, a bunch of them.
I think Jonte Cook, the second, was in there, Tim, as well.
Yeah.
Was the first. And they came with, as you said, a bad attitude, Tim. And watch, you can see when these players who are really focused come in and watch him disrupt and redirect. Even though he took a shot himself from the sideline, it looked like the red jerseys went backwards and all the white ones were coming forward. And that speaks to a lot. Yeah, I think special teams is always an indicator to how the overall temperature of the team is going. And
we touched on a grudge match mentality, and it's Texas that's delivering
no question
that grudge right now. And there's so much history to it. Parker Jenkins is in the backfield on first down. They just need to get a few first downs here put together to give their defense a break. Jenkins gets it out to about the 18-yard line. We call it a gain of 4. Second down and 6 coming up. Jaron Thompson, number 28, with a stop.
Down 21, Dana has historically shown patience as he's tried to figure out what the attitude of this team is. Deep down, he's basically a passing scheme. That's what it is. But he hasn't been able to get that quarterback to run the football, which is the core of what he's trying to do.
Donovan Smith was able to run it very well against this Texas team while in Lubbock, Texas a year ago.
That's why they're staying in man coverage, because he's no threat in the run game. Now they got self-inflicted wound on a penalty here.
Yeah, little bubble screen again going to Samuel Round. He's going to be about a yard shy of the first down, but again, the marker's down, and it's likely to be a penalty against Houston.
And we got a down Longhorn as well, Timmy.
We do?
Yep.
I think it's 93. Maybe not. 43, I believe the number is. Jet Bush.
Offside, number 1. Defense lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Well, that's a big break, because it appeared the preliminary indication was a false start, but that actually helps him out. We'll give him a few yards. He's in the neutral zone.
Yep, he's lined
that gave him a break out to the 24-yard line.
Yep, lined up on that outside.
So second down and a yard to go. It was Jet Bush that was injured, and he's gotten a little assistance to head back to the sideline. They'll go 3 deep at every position, Texas.
He's a great player at Strake Jesuit right here in the Houston area, Jet was, and just an outstanding player. Good, better man.
A lot of guys on this Texas team from the Houston area ready to lay the wood to the homestanding Cougars. 2nd and 1 for Donovan Smith. He's got Golden split wide to the bottom of your screen. Jenkins got right to the line to make, and then was pulled down by Barron Sorrell.
And Tim, that's where this team is lacking in the instinct. I mean, you snake and you hug that line of scrimmage and bend it on outside away from that edge rusher. I mean, instead of doing it, playing fast here. So let's see if they can get some tempo.
Yes, they are.
The best.
Look out, coming the other way, Manjack. He wants to throw it. He can't. And Texas snuffed it out. Just great coverage downfield. Jalen Ford able to run him down, but just tremendous coverage deep.
And I'm not sure if Matthew Golden was not selling it, but Manjack did a great job of holding as long as he could. But you're trickling downfield, and you can't get behind the coverage. It's great coverage, by the way, on the back end by Galvin Holmes, number 9. And he did a wonderful job up front, but Manjack was covered. And these Texas defenders on the back end were not fooled.
Not a bit.
Locked in man coverage. And the reason why they're in man coverage is because the run game is not working.
2nd and 12. Tony Mathis, who's been nicked up, is back in there, number 24, in motion. Smith, quick out, and it's caught. That's Stephon Johnson, Boogie, as he's called, and of course the hero of Thursday night Hail Mary catch. Had a couple of others that were outstanding. Picks up 6.
Yeah, when Donovan Smith is on target, the route will run itself, particularly in man coverage. If you throw the ball where it's supposed to be, there's no defender in the world that can cover that play.
3rd down and 6.
Trying to diagnose Texas staying in their cover 2 package. This is zone. They're going to try to keep everything underneath them. There should be a receiver open underneath this coverage, right in the middle of the field.
Donovan Smith's pass towards the boundary, and it's incomplete. Johnson could not hold on, and it'll be another punt formation for Houston, and Texas likely again to get some quality field position.
And that's so unfortunate, Tim, because they did the right thing and exercising the amount of time needed to see what the preliminary move defensively for Texas would be. Then they diagnosed it and didn't just execute. That's simply a missed opportunity.
0 for 4 on 3rd down conversions, Houston. And that stat must change for that man, Dana Holgorsen, if they're to have any chance at all of getting back in it.
It's like a doctor diagnosing the right situation and you don't take the medicine.
Wilkins, this time with a beautiful boot, backing up Xavier Worthy to the 24. Oh, how about that little deke, huh? Flags come down behind him, and Worthy's going to be stopped at the 41. We may have had a block in the back. 46-yard kick, the 17-yard return. He kind of deked him a little bit, squatted on it a little bit, and then hit another gear.
Yep.
He is a very talented return man and, of course, wide receiver, the #1 target for Quinn Ewers.
Well, Dana can appreciate a guy who
During
can
the
sift through
return,
the traffic.
holding number 18, receiving team, 10-yard penalty, 1st down, timeout.
So here's the block in the back. You can see 18. He tries to pull off Tim, but he doesn't do it. But it takes nothing away from the ability to see threats and to sift through the coverage. Put that ball in the other hand, fella, because Dana says, if you do it, we may get away with it. Oh,
Want to see where your team stands? Just tell Siri. Show me the college football ranking.
There's some rankings for you. Ohio State holding on against an anemic Penn State defense today. 20-12 they get to win. Alabama and Tennessee getting with it. Of course, their only loss coming to Texas, a non-conference game. They're still hoping to win the West over in the SEC. Jonathan Brooks gets it ahead for 3 yards, and it'll be 2nd down. And 7 yards to go for Texas, leading 21-0.
What you think about Penn State today? I thought they were sneaking up on some folks, man. I thought they would.
Well, they certainly had their opportunities. Their offense was just porous. And Ohio State chased points and got away with it.
You saw that?
Yeah, it sure did. Looked like Ryan Day was doing his best Dan Lanning impression. Ahead goes Jonathan Brooks.
I like
For about the 25, a 3-yard pickup. That's Chidozie Nwankwo, the young man we were talking about that played so big late in that West Virginia game. A state championship wrestler. He should be able, you think, to hold his own against these big, brawny horns up front. But, boy, Jake Majors, what a leader he is. To get back after that high ankle injury that he had.
Yeah, and it's a bad high ankle sprain, but he is just weathering through this thing, man. That's no light matter.
3rd down and 4 for Ewers. He's in trouble, and down he goes. Well, that's Houston's first big moment defensively, and it was Jamari Caldwell, the other big ugly, number 93, all 325 pounds of him, out of Newberry, South Carolina.
Here's Chidozie here, Timmy. Here's the matchup. This is the one we've been talking about. Jake Majors, he's a little nicked up, but the push in the pocket, and then the separation to get away, and then to mirror the guy, then get loose. I mean, it looks like it's a stalemate, but anytime that nose tackle or zero technique can control that 2-gap, that's a win for him.
Yeah, well, Chidozie helped set that one up for Caldwell, didn't he?
No question.
He really did. Malik Fleming is back deep. We've already seen a pretty decent return on his part with that spin move of his. And there's a line drive returnable punt for Fleming. Look at that Texas team, baby. They are too athletic. He was salivating to take off, and just as he got it, 3 horns were right in front of him, starting with Keaton Crawford, baby. Keaton Crawford.
Coming up on the State Farm Halftime, a top 10 defensive battle in Columbus while Alabama looks to avenge last year's loss to Tennessee. And Oklahoma barely survives a scared home. Some good, interesting things happening in the college football world, and I'm loving it, Tim and Spencer. Back to you.
Sarge, it's redundant, but that's okay. We're with you, pal.
Sarge knows the college football landscape.
Yes, he does. It is a very interesting Saturday. Little swing pattern out to Golden. Matthew gets it past the 40 to the 42, maybe the 43-yard line. A gain of 13, all down by Jalen Gilbo.
Yeah, Jalen Gilbo in there to make that tackle, Tim. He probably hits his head on the goalpost, and he was coming. One of those rare explosive plays we've seen. 13 yards, the longest of the day.
Well, they're going to need more of that to try to slowly get their way back into this one, trailing by 3 touchdowns. And I go, again, a very quick screen, wide receiver screen to the running back who lines up there again, Stacy Sneed. Ethan Burke, 91 with a stop.
So here's Golden play again. Get the ball in their hands, even if you have to stretch it. This is an extended run play, essentially. Dana likes to get the ball, obviously, via the pass to his guys. But, man, any way you can do it to affect this defense and get them moving sideways is going to be an asset.
Ethan Burke, slow to get up. He made the tackle, the sophomore from Austin. Down on one knee right now at the 47-yard line. Here's where he made the stop and where he also got injured here. And a little friendly fire is he got some help from Leona Lafau, number 18 coming in there, the freshman from Hawaii.
He got it in the abdomen area.
He may have, yeah. And the assist on the tackle may have affected him. All right. Well, I tell you what, Steve Sarkisian's got his horns ranked in the AP Top 10 for the 6th straight week, which is the longest single-season stretch for Texas since 2009, Spencer. I mean, it's been a long, dry drought in terms of being contenders for conference titles, not just national titles, but this team seems poised, and everything that you have to have, Texas has.
Well, it's different because of what you referenced, the ability to play well angry.
Yeah.
And not let it affect your execution. That's one thing that I see is different. This Texas team is different, Tim.
It is.
More disciplined, more athletic, and as a result, you're seeing it with the 21 spot.
Well, tenacity on that defensive side really shows up in the secondary. You can play man coverage and be physical with every wide receiver. 2nd and 4. They go empty with 5 wide. Smith running out of time. Lets it fly. Samuel Brown's got it. And it's a first down. He atones for the drop by holding on for dear life against Michael Taft, 16, the strong safety.
Texas showed cover 2, which is zone, and then at the snap of the ball morphed into a cover 1, and that's just an excellent job of running with your man coverage on the back end of that one and converting to the point. Samuel Brown.
Play fake.
Nice
over
again.
the middle. There's Golden. He is Golden. Touchdown, Cougars.
You can't tell me that's not some run and shoot concepts right there. Call it what you want, spread. The quarterback has to read the same thing that everyone else is reading on that play and not cover yourself by getting too far in them. Taft was sitting there in number 16. Instead of running and covering himself with that defender, you split the difference between them to widen the margin for the quarterback who struggled with accuracy today to make that throw. Excellent pitch and catch.
Well, Donovan warmed up. You might recall in that West Virginia game, Spencer, in the latter stages of the 2nd quarter.
Yep.
And here he is, looking like the quarterback that Pete Kwiatkowski was worried about coming into this game, the defensive coordinator for Texas.
And you say, what can Brown do for you? Apparently a lot. He's showing up, man, big time. He can do this. Golden.
Who is Golden? Again and again.
I got a 10.
Fox College Football is sponsored by Coke Zero Sugar, best Coke ever, and by GMC. We are professional grade. Spencer, Houston's first 4 drives equal 23 yards and 0 points. Their last drive, 71 yards, 7 points, and they had their 3 most productive plays back to back to back. And they finally got on the Texas side of the field, and they made good on it.
Well, since we've had them enough, I can tell you that Dana is probably one of the best top 10 coaches in real-time adjustments in the game. That product of a touchdown was a byproduct of him diagnosing where the weaknesses in the coverage.
Look out, here comes Keelan Robinson. Boy, how good is Texas? They can always answer, it seems. He made that look easy. Got that Houston teams all shaded to the left-hand side. It's the place kicker, Martin, that saves the day.
Well, everything funnels down, right? And he knows as a return man, if I can get those guys collapsing on me, if I can get to the edge, I'm going to have somewhere to go with that. And that's just a byproduct of understanding coverage philosophy. Everybody is funneling down to a particular point. And if you can just stay vertical long enough and then spring to the outside, you can have all sort of compromised space to work with.
That's a bitter pill for Holgerson because he loves his special teams. He believes he wins a lot of games with his special teams. Now Texas and Ewers with an opportunity to answer with great field position at their own 45. On the check down to Brooks, right out of the backfield, and ahead for 6, maybe 7 yards on first down. Stopped by Webu and Brian George.
One thing they are doing, even though they're getting some chunk yardage here, Tim, U of H is playing with great leverage on the perimeter so as to not allow these explosive plays to go beyond what they have.
Again, they go with that quick toss out to Xavier Worthy, who gets the first down. That coverage was a little soft, and Quinn knew right where to go with it. Gets it to the 40-yard line. Another gain of 7.
Yeah, what Doug Belk, the defensive coordinator's got to do, as long as Texas continues to work the edge, they've got to get their bandit safety, Antonio Brooks, down out of coverage so he can affect it. They're going to do it again.
Yep. Look out. Ahead for at least 10 this time.
And who's the guy tackling?
Big time. It's Antonio Brooks.
That's what I just told you.
Yep.
That's bandit safety's got to come down out of that hole. That's 10 yards. It doesn't come. The blocking is up front, but this is man concepts now. The safety is responsible for that third guy. You got 2 out there, and one guy's going to make you miss. That's his job, and Worthy will do that. So it's up to that bandit safety. That's why he's got the title. He's a bandit. They're not supposed to see you. You come down free with no responsibility. You got to make that play.
Adonai Mitchell made an outstanding block to screen that play, too. Brooks and Baxter now in split backs. And they go with Jonathan Brooks.
Good defense.
Tries to cut it up and does get to about the 28-yard line. Malik Robinson with the stop.
Malik Robinson did a wonderful job of minimizing the damage there. Again, sometimes you can do your job, but when you can help somebody else, Tim, each one get one. If you can do a little bit more, so be it.
Well, they'll give him 1, so it's 2nd down and 9. Brooks remains the setback. Go with a pistol setup this time with Xavier Worthy. He moves now from the wide receiver spot to the bottom of your screen into the slot. And right up the gut goes Brooks again.
That's interesting.
Just a gain of 2 on that play.
That's an interesting call. We've talked all day about the one strength that Houston has, and it's those 3 defenders in the middle of that stop unit. Hakeem Ajijalaya, Anthony Holmes is another one that shows up. Jamari Caldwell is another one, and of course, Chidozie Nwankwo.
3rd down and 7 with the ball at the 27-yard line. Trips to the field side. Ball on the right hash.
Houston giving them a softer look, but it's because they've gotten 8 yards to make.
Pressure off the edge. Ewers underneath. He goes to Baxter. CJ with a shoestring tackle. Well done by Antonio Brooks. The Kilgore College transfer out of Missouri City, Texas, just outside Houston.
Yep. Right around that Carthage area, right? Kilgore. See, that's what happens when you come down, you play closer to the line of scrimmage. 3 of the last 4 plays, they've attacked him over there, and progressively with each play, Tim, he's gotten closer to the line of scrimmage. And with 8 yards a gain, I can get it while you're backed up. But, man, don't make it hard on yourself.
Don't you miss those Kilgore Rangerettes at Cowboy games? I do. Auburn will try this field goal of 44 yards. Oh, it's a fake.
Great.
Is Houston ready for it?
Got it.
At the 25, they were able to defend it. That's a surprise. Jamal Morris was ready for it.
Jamal Morris was there, and I want to believe Isaiah Hamilton, the boundary corner, was there in place as well. And you can see the continuity and the appreciation as Sark looks on of Dana Holgerson's appreciation for special teams. Why would you have a boundary corner playing to the side of a boundary potential fake? Because he's the most athletic you have. Able to turn that would-be runner inside is why he's there. Most fast guys or guys that are slower can't make it to that point.
That's
you get beat on the edge.
That's a really interesting decision, given how
It
Texas is dominating this game physically. But you have the week off. You can always expect a few of these plays for a guy like Sark to be dialed off after an open date. A little RPO look or a broken play, and Donovan just decides to live for another day and get down on the ground after a loss of a yard.
Yeah, he had Ethan Burke screaming down his neck, and 91 was coming.
Yes, he did.
He was hell-bent for election. And the big fella felt it.
Well, Spencer, when you're calling plays like that up 2 touchdowns, it does make you think a little bit about not only winning, but burying a team. Texas is looking to leave a lasting impact on this Houston Cougars team in the Big 12. Here goes.
That's a nice
Jenkins.
run. Way to finish.
A very good run. Past the 35. A little mojo now for the home team. That's a gain of 12. Derek Williams, the free safety, with the stop.
Jaron Thompson, the bandit safety, came in and watched number 28 in the white jersey's head go back. Watch his pop right here. Boop. Just goes right back. And now, I'll tell you, the guys in the red jerseys are looking like the guys in the white jerseys right now.
Quick out. Here goes Golden with a couple of co-receivers in front of him. He'll get 3 yards on that play. Second down coming up, and a couple of guys slow to get up. I think Houston wants a timeout. They'll take their first of this half with 1:32. Spencer, we talked a little bit about the grudge match here and the territorial aspect. This goes all the way back to 01, Bleachergate. We've got 6,000 tickets instead of 10K, which is a breach of our contract. Our solution was to move it to Rice Stadium or to the Dome. They said they're not going to do that. I'm not happy. In fact, I'm appalled. This is simply unbelievable. We don't have plans to play Houston again. Well, Brett Yormark, the new commissioner of the Big 12, said, no, you're going to have to play 4 games on the road in the state of Texas in your final year. And this is the second one of those games. They beat Baylor earlier. They've got Texas Tech left. And, oh, by the way, having to come to Houston is something Texas never, ever wanted to do.
Well, that along with playing that early exit fee, along with Oklahoma, which was upwards of $100 million, that was that stung a little bit.
There's a little healthy rivalry between the medical schools,
You think?
Between the city of Houston and Austin, Texas.
Nice.
Quick out pattern to O'Laughlin, number 17. And that's going to garner yet another first down, so move the chains. And here comes Houston, Spencer, with an opportunity before halftime to make a little move here, as they did against West Virginia, you might recall.
Well, Tim, they can go fast. That's not the issue, and that's when they're their best, but they can't do it for 60 minutes. We saw how before the adjustments on the defensive side that affected Doug Belt's defense, offense is no exception.
Out of the shotgun, Smith.
Nice.
That pass is a little overthrown, just ahead too much of Samuel Brown. You know, he'd been behind with a couple of those passes earlier in the seam area, Spencer. That time, he was leading his man a little too much.
He reminds me of J.K. Jefferson. That's what I'm thinking of at Arkansas. Their quarterback, he may not be as physically tough a runner, but his size and his arm strength is on par with that kid. And I'm telling you, there's something unique about him.
I think he wants to throw the ball, too, more than KJ does. And Jefferson can really heave it, no doubt about it. But I think his instinct is to run it a bit more. Donovan, while at Texas Tech, did run it more. He's more of a pocket passer now. Safety valve. And here goes Snead, wrapped up and thrown to the ground. Oh, Bronco busting there at the 46-yard line. Anthony Hill making the stop.
Junior got on him, man. He, as you said, Tim, that's an 8-second ride right there now. At the rodeo, they call it an 8-second ride, fella. Watch him. He look like Tough Hedeman on this one call right here. Ty Murray. Yes, sir.
Well, they're 0 for 4 on third down, Spencer. Houston desperately needs this one to be converted. Pressure off the edge. Smith's pass. It is caught. It is first down. It's Dalton Carnes, the original walk-on, making the grab. He caught that little 8 to 10 yard pass. It put him in position for the Hail Mary. last week against West Virginia.
This is just excellent coaching by Dana Holgorsen. Again, they're getting them in chunks. That one for 16 yards, but in-game coaching, wonderful by Holgorsen.
This pass towards the corner, and it's caught. And it's Carnes again. 17 yards this time.
So Pete Kwiatkowski, the defensive coordinator for Texas, has got to figure out where these voids are coming from in his zone coverage. He's got to do something. We talked to him yesterday. He says he's got some mixes up, but he's got to be able to change and match what Dana's doing. There's ebb and flow in the course of every game, Tim. And so these coaches, bright minds, both sides, you got to figure out exactly what's happening.
And it looks like Donovan Smith is lathered up now.
And so they're going to stay in this kind of cover two shell. Look how deep the safeties are. They're almost at the same level. No press coverage. They're playing zone.
Here goes Donovan Smith. He throws it. It's Manjack. It's a touchdown. Hello. How do you do?
Tim, this started off as a four-cross look, in the mobility of Donovan Smith and the ability to extend plays, not unlike Dylan Gabriel did at Oklahoma, is what made that possible and got it to what had been morphed into a man concept. So showing zone, morphing into man, mobile quarterback, connecting on the run, doing what he didn't do earlier, throwing efficiency was the key to that drive.
15th touchdown pass on the year, his second today. Gilbo, the star player, came in with a blitz, and once he eluded number 3, Spencer, it was over.
And it came from the slot position. Here's the over route, as you said. You got him in your hip pocket right now. That's a safety. And so he put him in the hip pocket quick, and then the other safety on the opposite side is locked up with man coverage. So now he knows it's a man scheme to that side of the field. And it's about him just catching the ball that's being thrown, hopefully accurately, and it was something they struggled with earlier.
It all began, Spencer, with this decision.
Yep, choices, Timmy, they have consequences.
It absolutely backfired. And again, I go back to that. When you're leading a team and dominating the way they have, it sort of smacks of, okay, we've got these guys daubers down. We want to bury them. We're going to run a play like this to put them away right here, right now. And Houston answered the bell.
It's a delicate challenge when you're trying to, I'm not going to say pacify. That's not it. It's much deeper than that. The context influences have not determined your strategy today in college football. You got other players that you've got to spend time with, making sure they're engaged. And you're not going to fool them.
No.
If you give them reps, they're going to know that you're engaging them and trying to involve them in what you're doing. But that has its downside. I think that's why teams like USC and others have struggled, Tim. You got to get your frontline players out there and get them good.
By the way, 146 yards in the last 2 drives for Houston. Well, tomorrow, a huge day of football on Fox. Jared Goff and the Lions take on Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, or the Steelers battle the Rams, or other regional action. Check the games in your area only on Fox and the Fox Sports app.
My Texans are off this week. I saw C.J. Stroud at the Ohio State game.
He made it up to the old horseshoe today.
He's playing at a high level.
Big time.
Fans in Columbus are missing him big time.
Yeah, McCourt struggled again today. Drew Aller, though, struggled more for Penn State. Great job by the defense. Our old buddy, Mr. Knowles, with the Ohio State D.
Here comes the safety blitz.
Look out! Down he goes. Big time. Jamari Caldwell got there from the center, but you're right. It was a complete charge starting at free safety as they were bringing the heat on Quinn Ewers.
And Malik Robinson walked off from that wheel linebacker position, came from depth, Tim. And again, just a beautiful way of communicating. So you got Jamari Caldwell. Jamari came from the inside and the interior, and then the safety. Tough.
Yeah.
Momentum.
Yeah. All the mojo is with Houston. I mean, all of the mojo is with Houston. Let's get you back to our studio. Mike Hill, Emmanuel Acho, another horn, and Chris Peterson standing by for the State Farm halftime show. Fellas, Texas's head coach came in with his brogans, suits and boots, and the Horns got out to a quick start. But then the Cougars, with their battle fatigues, and a coach with 3 syllables went to work. the Texas grudge match that we anticipated got a whole lot more entertaining in the latter stages of the second quarter. We welcome you back to DBECU Stadium. Tim Brando, Spencer Tillman. I know you got some snapshots for me, but this is going to be a whale of a second half.
Well, it's all about decisions, right? Decisions. The decisions to go for it with the fake, right? That opened up the door. And from there, it was really a brilliant job of managing what we call the middle eight. I'll unpack that in a minute. And then all of a sudden, Snead does a wonderful job of protection here. Your quarterback suddenly finds accuracy, right? And you get the shallow crossing routes going. Now more accuracy on the back, the out routes, painting the sidelines, and then the touchdown. The mobility, something that we didn't see earlier, the match coverage concepts. Really quickly, what that's about is once those vertical routes go past 10 yards, that zone disappears. Everybody's matched up in man. And so what Dana Holgorsen is doing, Timmy, is a beautiful job of finding a solution. He's like AI, man. He's iterating in real time, coming up with solutions to defend against Pete Kwiatkowski's back end, and it's been a masterful job.
And remember now, Houston gets the ball to start the second half, which makes that touchdown just before intermission so very important to where this game might go. Matthew Golden is back deep. Stone's boot will come to him, and look out. Look out.
Oh, that's face mask.
Look out. Ahead for 15 more after that face mask. And by the way, if he doesn't reach out and grab it, Matthew is, as they say, headed for the post, and it was Stone, the kicker, that got him, number 15.
Face mask, number 15. Kicking team. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Boy, you see all that speed and an abracadabra and reach out and grab you, man. He turned that head around, Tim, and I'll tell you that really fortunate he didn't get out of there with more damage on that one. I mean, he pulled it. The kicker put all of his weight into that grab of that face mask.
But Spencer, if he doesn't grab it, he may be gone.
Well, it was 49 as it was on the return. It could have been a house call.
Yeah, could have been. This kid's unreal. He runs a 10.39. Golden. And of course, he had the big touchdown to close out the half after Brown had made some big catches. And here we go in Texas territory to start. The Cougars at the Horns 49, trailing by a touchdown.
Continuation of the middle eight, throwing the ball in the vertical cross.
He's running out of time. Lets it go, and it's incomplete. And by the way, if it had been a little later, it might have been a 6 going the other way. O'Loughlin, the intended receiver, Burke with the pressure. But boy, oh boy, was there an opportunity for Jalen Gilbo to take this one back the other way.
The thing I don't like about this, when you lose your platform and you're trying to make a three-quarter field throw, that's from one hash all the way to the numbers, you're going to lose something off of that, Tim, and that's a lot of water to expect that ball to be on a rope over there, and you've got man coverage. It's just a dicey call. I'd rather see him throw that ball away or run it to that side.
Yeah, he has not been prone to run today, has he?
No, he has not.
Smith has not taken off, and that was what Texas was most concerned about coming into today's game, based on what he did to them while at Texas Tech. Over the middle in the seam, and there's Manjack. And it's a first down to the 38-yard line. Keaton Crawford with a stop, a gain of 11.
So now you're seeing the progression, the route here on the drive route underneath, Timmy. Watch Manjack sees is open right now. He got off coverage, just turn and present your numbers. Now you're starting to see the accuracy that was lacking in the first quarter, in the early part of the second half. Now, number 1 is on point.
He's leading those receivers on those crossing patterns.
He hit Manjack high and then one low, if you recall, in the first quarter.
He sure did. The big blow came early, though, when Brown dropped a 45-yard gain on the opening series. There's a quick out to Manjack again. He's the chain mover. He'll only get 3, but again, stay away from those negative plays on first down.
David Bendon was covering there on the outside. He's coming up a little bit gimpy, Timmy. And if you're engaged, you're looking at that. If you're Dana, you're aware of who's hurt, who's dinged, come at him again. Even if it's in the short side of the field.
That's 33. Benda, the Will linebacker. 4 wides. On the lone back is Parker Jenkins. 2nd and 8. One more time for Manjack. Bingo! Touchdown! Beat Keaton Crawford here.
Joseph Manjack, Timmy, on the numbers, got off coverage, and it just runs right past him. He's got a little bit of a height advantage, and again, stays focused on that ball to pass to catch and completion. Just a wonderful job of the continuation of what began. Again, this is a wonderful master class of managing the middle eight.
Well, they're going to check to see if he made sure that he got in here. Did he go down prior to the end zone? And I don't think so. I think that's touchdown.
Well, they're
They
not
will
going to be
take a
able to
look at
reverse it from that angle.
No.
And they won't be able to reverse it from that angle.
The knee comes down over the line. It's just got to be on the white. Just has to be on the white. That's touchdown. Certainly understand why they have to look at it.
Sure.
But boy, is Donovan Smith in the pocket now.
Well, the accuracy, deep with accuracy, is one of the requisite throws you have to be able to make to run this offense in the scheme. And Dana Holgorsen, he knows everything about this, right? But everybody's kind of giving him a hard time. And even I, if I'm transparent, gave him a hard time for being transparent.
Yeah.
Dino's got some thought about this, Timmy.
Yeah, Dino, what do you see here? I didn't see enough to overturn it. What do you say?
Yeah, two things here. They're looking to see if it's a catch, which I believe that it is. He's going to maintain control. The second aspect would be, is he down prior to the ball breaking the plane? You're going to see the left leg hit. Doesn't appear that we have enough. You're really looking for that shot down the line. Such a long play. We don't have the camera positioned on the goal line. To me, that aspect is going to stand. I think this will stay a touchdown.
Well, as usual, Dean nailed the points that they're considering, but again, I'm not sure, as Dean said, that they have the proper angle to overturn that decision.
And again, all you have to do is crack the plane with the ball, and that knee did touch on the white.
Yep.
Okay, which means that's touchdown.
Well, I don't think that's the dispute, whether or not it was a crossing the line. It's really, was his butt down or was he down before he crossed it?
Where the ball was when the knee hit.
Right.
I
You're not going to be able to determine that from those camera angles. So the call is going to stand.
Pass with the receiver short of the goal line. It'll be first and goal at the half-yard line.
I cannot believe that.
Wow.
I cannot believe
Did they
that.
have an angle we didn't have?
No. I cannot believe that.
I don't know how you overturn that.
Yeah, Tony Bates is our replay official. Dana's going to be in disbelief. Because I'm going to tell you, a half yard is not easy to get. It's not easy to get at all. It's a little more than a half yard.
Well, turn it into a coaching point. And again, listen, folks, we don't cheer for anybody.
No, not at all.
We like football. I want to see people compete. If it's Texas that stands here, great. If it's U of H, great. Doesn't matter. Just make something of it. That's wonderful.
Yeah, bingo. Right?
Yes,
Keaton Crawford says, I'll see you, and I'll hit you behind the line.
Yeah, and do your best Oklahoma impersonation.
Yeah.
Oklahoma with 4 stops in a critical situation
That's right.
similar to this. You know, take the frustration out. Here you see Crawford stacked up over in that A gap, or that C gap. Does a nice job of just filling in the spots.
Their red zone defense is 13th best in the country, Texas. So that was a big overturn. And one clearly none of us agreed with, even Dean. Second and goal. To the corner, caught, touchdown. It's Golden.
Timmy, the story of this game is Houston's big 3, the receivers, right, are doing a better job overall than Texas big 3. And I wouldn't have expected that, but you look at the numbers. You look at Manjack. You look at his numbers inside. All of them collectively top in the league in terms of percentage of
And
catches.
by the way, Stephon Johnson has only made 1 catch today. And that's a heck of a 4th.
And he's a
that you can
productive guy.
bring in.
When he does make catches, he had 4 last week for 97 yards. He is the most productive.
Martin with the extra point. This baby is tied at 21.
Wow.
Not sure I would have thought that at the end of the first quarter, Spencer.
Yep.
Manjack makes that grab. After the dispute, they go Golden again. By Gold, it's good this time of year. Fox College Football is sponsored by Pfizer. Yeah, Donovan Smith last season against Texas went for 373 and 3 touchdowns. And we said earlier, Dana Holgorsen had success. He's 5-2 in his 7 games against the Horns. West Virginia, of course, where the big ones came. The last one back in 18 in Austin. But Spencer, these two guys, have had success against Texas, and that recent success for Donovan is paying some dividends right now.
Yeah, because it's spilling over to the other complementary parts of this team. And in that game, he also had a rushing touchdown. I think that was the overtime affair, 37-34 was the final of it. And then I remember specifically the conversions of several fourth downs. So playing with confidence in crucial plays was big, too.
Well, the last time Houston came from 21 down to get a W was October the 29th of 2016. They trailed UCF 24-3, went on to win the game 31-24. And the last time the Horns blew a 21-point lead was October the 9th. Guess who? Well, Oklahoma. They were up 28-7 in the Red River rivalry. That was, and at the end of the first quarter, down 3 touchdowns, they lost the game 55-48.
Well, the beautiful thing about this, I don't care what color jersey you're wearing, is the crisis really exposes who you are. It doesn't do anything other than that, and we get to learn about these teams. Who are they made of? What they're made of.
Jonathan Brooks, a steady diet of that would probably help get this offense going. They want to run the ball, and they have every reason to believe that they're going to dominate when they do. Malik Robinson makes the stop, and it's a pickup of 8.
I like this approach. Stay in a closed formation. If you do throw it, something really high percentage.
Brooks, turf monster, got him as Isaiah Hamilton diagnosed the play and was coming in, but it is a first down at the 36-yard line.
And Tim, the reason why I like this philosophy is you don't let the weakness off the hook. The interior line, even though the front line players are strong for University of Houston, they're not deep in that area. They had that employ 8 and 10 on the platoon in the victory over West Virginia.
Little curl going out to Worthy. Xavier gets another healthy gain of 7. So if you're looking at 2nd and 3 or 2nd and 2, in most situations, that is advantage to this Texas offense.
And if Texas employs this kind of philosophy, because they did it on the first drive, I think it was an 11-play drive, they moved the ball down. I think they had 1 penalty on that drive, so it was fairly clean. The possessions are going to be becoming a significant storyline in this as well.
2nd and 4, they gave him 6 on that play, and that one may have hit the turf beforehand. They're going to rule it complete at the 45-yard line, a yard shy of the first down to Jordan Whittington. Let's take a look at this. Yep, good catch. Good catch. It was a good catch. 3rd down a yard. Viewers, he's stuffed. He did not get there. It'll be 4th down.
That line judge is going to give it to him. It looks like, Tim, he's
is he going to
coming in just a nod. It looks like he's right on top of it. It may be short.
I think he's short.
Far sideline judge is going to say it's 4th down.
Yeah, he got a left foot spot on the far side. Yep. You saw the referee from the right coming in. And it is short. Wow. This will get the crowd motivated as Texas brings in the big uns. Little 12 personnel. And see what happens here on 4th down and less than a yard.
Maybe going 21. It should be, is it 1 back?
Evers with 14 straight completions. And they go with a direct snap again. It's Red, and he's in trouble. Can he get there? Marker down. He does get the first down. They win again with Red, who had that direct snap touchdown, you might recall. Savion Red.
But it's that front line pressure of Houston that got in there, and Texas obviously held, and it's going to be against Texas.
Spencer, sometimes you can get a little too cute. That time they decided to go direct snap with Red rather than just using the power game between the tackles. And if you're correct, they may pick this up. Sometimes when you see this long conversation, they'll pick up the flag. Happens a lot. Crowd's beginning to think in those terms.
A Wrangler?
Look out.
There is no foul on the play.
What did I tell you? What did I tell you?
Oh, doctor.
Yeah. What did I tell you? Doug Belk is in disbelief. Happens a lot, though, Spencer. I mean, it does, especially this year. They thought they had a hold, and then they didn't. And that looks like a hole to me.
Well, that looks like a face mask.
And a face mask by Baxter, yeah. The gain was 3, so it's a first down. Wow. Yours gets away from pressure. That throw almost picked off. Ugwebu had 1 mid on it, but he couldn't get the second. 2nd and 10.
That left defensive end, Ugwebu had that hand up, and he's far removed from the quarterback, but you can still get up there and affect the pass understanding his drop lanes and responsibility, times it up perfectly, gets that hand up. Otherwise, if he doesn't do that, you've got Ja'Tavion Sanders, the tight end, the Y, wide open behind him.
Ewers is 19 of 21. Brooks bottled up. Ugwebu again. Boy, he's playing with passion. Number 12, all 6'4", 250 of him. Had a 10-tackle game earlier this year. And he is helping Caldwell and Chidozie Nwankwo stuff the run for Texas. At midfield, it's 3rd and 8.
Cougars showing 3 deep concept, and they're going to force a timeout. Red.
Houston.
Dana saw something,
Timeout in the second
and
half.
he got into Belk's head and said, you got to call a timeout.
Timeout on the field.
Sure, it had to do with formation, maybe the number of men on the field. Timeout. Fox College Football is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Round out your protection with life, phone, and pet health insurance. And by Jersey Mike's Sub. Be a sub above.
Timmy, this is why they call timeout. Doug Belt is upset because, hey, he said they got 12 disciples at the Last Supper, not the defensive play. We can't have 12 out here, gentlemen. We got to have 11 on the field. That's about communication, or lack thereof.
Dana got in his ear, and he got in his players' ears. 3rd down and 8. Out of the shotgun with Brooks, the setback. Ewers lets it fly. It's caught. It's the tight end, Sanders, staying on his feet, but it'll be shy of the 1st down. Brian George was holding on, and he got a few reinforcements to come over and help get that stop.
Antonio Brooks came in there late as Sark looks on. I mean, I tell you, they've been gracious on those sidelines, man. I'm surprised he came in there as gingerly as he did. Brooks needed to take him out.
Well, he is not, he's not flinched on 4th down.
Nope.
And he hasn't flinched when he lined up for a field goal either. That one, I wonder if he'd love to have that one back.
Sark's got ice in his veins.
Yes, he does.
And he knows the numbers, he knows the game, and trusts his calls.
4th and 2 from the 44 of Houston. And another timeout for the Cougars. Well, this is interesting because now you're going to be down to 1 timeout.
I don't think they're in agreement on that. I don't think Dana wanted it or Doug Belt wanted it.
Yep. Dana's not happy about it. Somebody took the timeout, though. And like I said before, you could fry an egg on his forehead right now. He is very upset. That's simple communication, really. Kind of thing that you go over every day in practice with different groupings that come in certain scenarios.
Yeah, he's hot at his DC right here, man.
Yeah. You know, Doug used to be up in the booth. He went down to the sidelines before the West Virginia game. I'm thinking now he might make the decision to go back upstairs after this series.
You know, creative tension, it can be a good thing. It can bring
we've
out
had
the
our
best
fair
in team.
share through the years.
Absolutely we have. And it makes us better. And I think it makes this team better.
4th and 2, Ewers out of the gun. Look out, that one is incomplete. Boy, what an interesting call on 4th and 2. Brooks, Antonio Brooks all over Adonai Mitchell. So they get the stop after all that and the creative tension. Oh, that'll blow your mind. Up in his specialty, up in there. It'll make you change your mind. That creative tension now.
I hear you,
Woo, baby. Fox College Football is sponsored by Geico. It's easy to Geico. Now the Cougars get the 4th down stop, now have tremendous field position at their own 44. Their last 3 drives, Spencer, 71 yards, touchdown. 75 yards, touchdown. 49 yards, touchdown. And they were punt, 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 punt before that. Quick out to Samuel Brown, and he's ahead for 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6, make it 3 and 2nd and 7. Gavin Holmes, there's Pete Kwiatkowski, the defensive coordinator, a very understated gentleman of defense, and he is really outstanding. Coach Pete knows all about him from his days at Washington.
Boise State.
They were the flies of the ointment there, Spencer. at Boise State.
Behind it.
Sneed's the setback.
Cover 2, zone.
Sneed, incomplete.
Oh, she got a little short arms.
Yeah, Sneed wanted the ball, and Donovan hesitated. And that's when he gets in trouble. When he takes a second look, he's very rarely going to pump fake it and make a great throw. That time it was just pure hesitation, and it's 3rd and 7.
Well, he was confused just a little bit because what Pete Kwiatkowski, the defensive coordinator, had been doing prior to that is staying in their match coverage concept, right? When you get past 10 yards, it becomes man. They stayed in a cover 2, so it was a true zone and just didn't recognize it.
Very scientific defensive coordinator, Pete Kwiatkowski. 3rd and 7, that's Brown in motion. Donovan Smith, pressure off the edge, look out.
The ball's out.
And the ball is out. And Texas has got it at the 37-yard line of Houston. Backside pressure. That was the story on that play.
Timmy, when you start to get a little bit greedy, the quick game was going to work for you, right? But when you start expecting or getting the false impression that this offensive line can deal with the pressure from this elite rush group who hadn't sacked the quarterback a whole lot this year, but they certainly have capability and depth to make it happen.
It was Jalen Ford that knocked it loose, and Vernon Broughton, the lineman, 6'4", 291. Out of Cypress Ridge in Houston, Texas.
And Brown Sherrell, number 88, was involved in that. He came off the edge with big pressure as well. So the jack position came from the edges. Linebackers are coming too.
So Houston's stop is negated by that fumble, and look out. Ewers is in trouble now. Off the edge, backside pressure. Nelson Caesar, who is the best sack man and captain of that defensive front. Undersized at 250, but they're kept quick.
Nelson says, render under Caesar what is Caesar's, and I'll take this for -4 yards.
Boy, did he push back the tight end Sanders. That's a load of a tight end that was trying to chip on him, and he would have none of it. That was a discard. 2nd and 14, Brooks the setback. Ewers underneath, check down to Brooks, and right there is Isaiah Hamilton. Boy, this transfer from Texas Southern, Spencer, is playing tremendous football these last couple of games, right out of the 5th ward.
Yeah, for some of these folks that don't know the geography, I mean, it's just literally a stone's throw from TDECU Stadium, Texas Southern University, just across the way here. Didn't have to travel far. And he is as close to these receivers on the opposite side. Great defense.
Texas is 2 out of 8 on 3rd down conversions. This is 3rd and a baker's dozen.
Rushing 4.
Look out underneath, a little middle screen to Brooks. Look out, number 24 can go. He's got the 1st down. Huge play, gets it to the 22. Antonio Brooks, the strong safety, runs him down. A pickup of 18.
You know, sometimes you can anticipate when they're going to run those types of plays, and Brooks, they're going fast here, Timmy.
Yes, they are. And this one is broken up beautifully. Again, the corner, Brian George, just disrupted that one from the jump, and it's 2nd and 10.
Sark is using pace and tempo as a tactical advantage, and he literally is calculating and so cold-blooded, man, with respect to his confidence and his scheme. I think he's a top 3 play caller in America. He may be the best. He's got such great understanding of what concepts work, and I think the most important thing that I see in the aggregate of plays that I've looked at, he understands what can be defended and what can't. Every defense has a strength or a weakness, and this guy right here knows it like the back of his hand.
2nd and 10. 12 personnel. They're all in tight. Ewers again finding his man out of the backfield. Brooks, Jonathan Brooks. The shoestring tackle by Chidozie Nwankwo. Just inside the 20, a gain of 4 there.
Yeah, Talik Robinson again came in, number 95 off the edge. He recognized the screenplay coming, but it was a little bit too late. Couldn't get his big body turned around and redirected. And as a result of that, got in on the back end of that tackle.
Doug Belk looks on, 3rd and 6 here. And given the way the game has been going, it's always 4-down territory with Sark.
Yeah, they're playing match coverage, and they're trying to give pressure. They're going to try to bring pressure and put pressure on the back end to play man. Watch that soft spot right behind that slot receiver.
Jaden Blues in the game. Ewers running out of time now. Running out of time, but has a lot of green grass, and he is hammered by Aguebu. short of the first down by about a yard.
I think Agredu may have got
He
the
hit
lion's
him
share of
hard,
that
and
one,
yeah,
man. He did.
he might have had the
He's
stinger
down,
there,
too.
yep.
Yeah, I think you got that. You nailed it, partner.
Yep. Right there.
Yeah, he came in, man, with that left shoulder. When that head goes one way and the shoulder goes down, that nerve is designed to be flexible.
That was a heavy hit, but it affected the pursuer as opposed to the pursuee. As Jackie Gleason once said in Smokey and the Bandit. As the pursuer, you are a heck of a pursuee. It'll be fourth down and a long one, maybe two here, as they mark that ball just shy of the 15. So it is more like 2 yards to gain, and that's what they faced in their last sequence when Houston stopped them.
Yep. He's going to be all right. He's a tough cat, man.
Yeah, the head's moving around pretty good.
He's fine.
You were talking about Steve Sarkisian. I found it really interesting yesterday in our conversation. He was championing his days with Pete Carroll. Here's a look at what happened again on that play.
Yeah, and again, it's just a guy playing with great leverage and intuition. 2 defenders that he had to split there, and then finds a way to stay active and get back involved in the play. He comes all the way across that double team against him to be involved in the play. Unfortunately, had a little self-inflicted injury there.
As is oftentimes the case when you coach for Nick Saban and won a national title, everyone wants to hone in on the disciple of St. Nick. Understandable to a point. Yeah. Jimbo Fisher heard the same thing, and yet Jimbo spent more time with Bobby Bowden than he did Saban. In his case, he says, people have forgotten what it meant for me to work with Pete Carroll at USC and the big moments he had as a result. Savion Red has come back into the game. Direct snap time, 2 for 4 on fourth down today. And the last time they went with that direct snap. Let's see what they do here.
As soft as in the...
He's going to follow his running back, Baxter. And that's a first down. So that's the third conversion, and 2 of them now by Red. He also has a touchdown running the Wildcat.
Yeah, football is not a difficult sport. You just run to where the soft numbers are. And again, if you are covered up by a tight end, you're not necessarily looking inside to try to stop the run. You're just making sure that guy doesn't become a receiver. And when you take your eyes off the line of scrimmage, if it is a run action, and you've had any success running the football, you're at an advantage. Sark knows the game.
First and goal. Brooks stood up at about the 7 and pushed back by Caesar. It's getting physical. And that territorial grudge we were talking about at the outset of today's game is there right in front of you in your living room.
Now looking past him, if Texas should score here, it becomes paramount that the defense match their energy and stop them from scoring, because then it becomes an issue of how many possessions you're going to have left. That will put us about 11 minutes into the fourth quarter at that point in time if that's the case. And that could be an issue. Last team hit the ball, kind of like West Virginia might score.
Ewers' pass is overthrown, intended for Whittington. He had 10 catches in that Oklahoma game in a losing effort with 115 yards. Jordan Whittington marked his second 100-yard receiving game as a Horn. And with brother Quincy was a running back at SMU, you might recall. Third and goal. Huge play here for both teams. Texas 3 out of 10 on third down. Ewers with time. This pass is incomplete. Thrown away. Outstanding coverage by the Houston perimeter.
I think what Doug Belt is doing and what Sarkisian has not really figured out exactly, this match coverage concept doesn't really apply down here. You're on the goal line. Forget about that 10-yard marker. This is man locked down all the way. Again, the inside routes are not there. Safety's dropping back to cover to take that away. When you get into the red zone, you don't have the option to throw the ball deep, so they don't have to defend that. That extra person is down by the line of scrimmage. Great defense.
Texas with their first points in a long while. You got to go back to the early portion of the second quarter when they got their third touchdown. And now it's a 3-point game, and that's a win for the Houston defense to hold that juggernaut out of the end zone. Points per possession, baby. Sir, 3 and change left in the third. Tomorrow on FS1, the ALCS continues a heated and dramatic Game 5 win. Altuve and the Stros now look to punch their ticket to the World Series while the Rangers fight for their playoff lives. It's pivotal Game 6. Joe Davis, John Smoltz leading our team. Coverage begins tomorrow at 7 o'clock on Fox.
Look at you now.
Matthew Golden awaits the kick. And it'll be a touchback, and Houston will take over. Well, Fox has made a $1 million donation to United Jewish Appeal as they mobilize to provide urgent relief to those impacted by the atrocities in Israel. If you would like to join Fox with your support, visit www.ujafedny.org. Our thoughts and prayers remain with all those families, both here and abroad, impacted by all that's been going on in the Middle East.
Indeed.
Parker Jenkins will be the setback as they open at the 25-yard line. Houston had its first chance to get a lead after they had turned Texas over on downs, and then they turned it over.
So they've changed their coverage, Tim. They're coming down a straight man.
Jenkins.
It's going to be tough to run against this.
Especially when you're trying to bounce it outside against Texas. They are so quick. That's Byron Murphy the second, the junior out of DeSoto, Texas. He's got a number of tackles for losses. That'll be another one for him.
So Dana, now master of halftime adjustments, have got to make an adjustment here. Pete Kwiatkowski has responded. Single high safety look, matched up man on the outside. Showing a little cover two here, but I bet he comes out of it because of the down and distance scenario. So you got to win with one of your receivers. Let's see if number one can find one.
Keep Manjack in your eyesight. He's the chain mover. And they're going to flare it out here to Jenkins, and he's stopped again. The pursuit of Texas sideline to sideline, so good. Only a yard gain on that play. 3rd down and 11, and you're playing behind the chains, and that's never a good thing against Texas. Sade Barron was all over that play, number 23.
So now they got you playing left-handed, Timmy. Remember, it was a pressure and the loose ball that put them in a position where they're down 3 now.
Sure was.
So got to be mindful of the pressure. Just showing 4 now. Probably going to stay that way because they're so far off the ball. 4-man rush.
3rd down 11. Nice. In the seam, it's Manjack right on cue, Spencer. That's your chain mover. And he's got the first down out to the 39-yard line. Gain of 16. The USC transfer, he is always there when you need to move the chains.
Well, this is a 3-way street here. It's about great play calling, discerning where the voids are, and having the patient to endure the pressures. Even though it was just a 4-man look right there, your quarterback, in his recent memory, knows what this front four is capable of doing when they want to bring pressure.
It was Manjack that did the marvelous job of high-pointing that tip that went into Boogie's hands for the touchdown on the Hail Mary last week, too. He was one of the heroes. Smith with time on the check down. He goes to Carnes again, who's caught a couple of big-time passes in the later stages of the second quarter to help set up Houston to tie this game. That one goes incomplete. It's 2nd and 10.
But when they look at the game tape, one of the hidden stories, Timmy, number 24, Tony Mathis Jr., one of the running backs, has done a wonderful job of picking up blitz protection and giving Donovan Smith some time to make decisions. And if they can continue to do that, he remains accurate, they'll have some shots down.
He's been a little nicked up of late, too. And that's one of the reasons why we've seen more of Parker Jenkins. And there's the out pedal again. Carnes underneath. Shoved out of bounds at the 42. It was Derek Williams again, the freshman from New Iberia, Louisiana, Westlake High School. That is Cajun country down there. 3rd down and 7 for Houston.
Closer to the line of scrimmage now. This is clearly a pressure package.
O'Laughlin, the tight end, is in a wide receiver role up at the top of your screen.
Just plain
Donovan Smith, there it is. That's his favorite target. The walk-on spins, baby, spins. And he's down to the 40, a first down, a gain of 16. Well, he likes Carnes, doesn't he?
Absolutely. And what made it possible was the linebacker play. They're mindful of the down and distance scenario. Watch how these linebackers, 0 that's moved up, are playing so close. They're playing Donovan Smith, expecting him to run. But because that commitment to the quarterback in the ground game, the underneath stuff starts to open up. That's 4 receptions for 53 yards there now.
Well, that guy was a non-factor until the West Virginia game.
Amazing.
He played 3, and what looked like a laugher at the end of 1 is a Texas-sized grudge match going into the 4th. Oh, they're a commuter school, Houston. That's what the Texas folks say. And Texas ain't all that. That's what the Houston folks say. Our Pacific Life Game Summary sponsored by Pacific Life, creating financial security for more than 150 years. Oh, did Texas come out hot? Xavier Worthy all over the place. Yours was firing darts, and Texas was up to a 21-0 lead, but the Cougars answered. Brown, Manjack, Golden, and suddenly we were tied, and now a field goal for Texas by Auburn makes it a 3-point game as we open the 4th.
Here's a conventional formation for you.
Smith can run out of this. This pass is incomplete. Samuel Brown, the intended receiver, and he did lay out for that one, but he could not bring it in.
I'm just wondering the mechanics. You're rolling to that side, and what is it that you need to do? It actually is easier to throw an accurate ball when you're running toward that direction. People think you got to get your platform squared, but it's just the sheer momentum of moving that direction that you're throwing it that puts that ball on a more accurate track. Can't afford to miss those open passes.
I will say this, though. I admire his composure. He's come such a long way from the guy we saw beat Houston while quarterbacking Texas Tech last year in overtime. Play fake. Underneath he goes, and that's Burns, the tight end, Matt Burns. Sophomore from Chicago, transferred over from Iowa Western. And it'll be 3rd down. You see Malik Muhammad made the play there. 3rd down and a yard to go.
Big time important call. This 1st down will put them on track, what I mentioned about 5 minutes ago, Tim. 3 additional downs puts this around 13 minutes with 2 possessions remaining for Houston if everything holds up.
By the way, Ewers went into the tent, we're told, down on the sideline, so they're warming up a backup here as Donovan tries to get it on his own, and I don't know. I don't think he got there. I think he's a little short. That was Javon Tapp, 17, the freshman from Donaldsonville, Louisiana, prepped at Ascension Catholic.
Dana's going to go to the analytics. He's not a big analytics guy, but let's see what happens here, Tim. He's going to go for it.
Martin's longest field goal is only 44 yards, so I understand this call. It is 4th down.
Yep.
And
he understands he's only got a couple of more possessions. Yeah. That's what it is.
It's a full yard, too. Mathis is the setback.
You got to do something to clear him out in the middle. I don't like the tight formation here.
Smith, there's Manjack again on the crossing pattern, 1st down. Boy, he is so special. He and Carnes, Spencer, when Donovan needs a 1st down, those 2 guys have been money.
Well, he's got man coverage, and again, it's Michael Taff who's in his hip pocket trying to defend him, and he just gets the natural rub there, right?
6 receptions for 88 yards now for Manjack.
A lot of times those crossers that are making their way across the field get knocked off their courses.
So there they go from the left hash at the 28 of Texas. They move Brown and Carnes to the top of your screen. Look out, wheel route, and it's incomplete. Thrown behind the receiver Parker Jenkins, who was coming out of the backfield, and he went out and up, and it was being thrown to another direction by Donovan Smith.
I'm not sure why Samuel Brown, number 4, the slot receiver, slowed down and stopped him. I don't know if it had any effect on the wheel route itself, but again, whoever's defending him is not in a position to defend properly by stopping.
2nd and 10 again. 44 is the longest. They're going to need another 1st down if they want to try to tie this game with a field goal. Jenkins remains the setback. Corner blitz coming. Smith, look out. The safety's there, and he's got the interception. Michael Taff comes away with it. Brown was the intended receiver, and Donovan Smith just did not see him. Absolutely did not see the safety. 2 big turnovers quarters now the Horns have gotten on defense. One led to a field goal, and this one stops a potential tying field goal or a touchdown possibly. Fox College Football is sponsored by Pacific Life, creating financial security for more than 150 years. Malik Murphy is going to come in at quarterback, Spencer, and Quinn Ewers, when he got tagged by Agwebu, it was Agwebu that appeared hurt, but long term, clearly Ewers was impacted, holding that chest area, and Murphy, who, by the way, has been a little nicked up of late. Arch Manning, grandson of Archie Manning, had been running a lot with the twos in practice this week. We thought he might get some playing time. Murphy comes in for him, and that's Jonathan Brooks who takes the handoff. By the way, Arch has not played as yet, and we thought would be redshirted, and it still could be. Let's go back to that pick, Spence.
Yeah, look, anytime you're a receiver, you got to take a look at the structure. You see that safety right there? If you're that outside receiver, you're Samuel Brown, you got to know what the coverage is. Now, the ball's overthrown. Not going to put too much on him. The bottom line is there, he has to turn into a defender and stop that ball from being intercepted at all costs. It's just about engagement.
He kind of gave up on the run.
Yeah, he gave up on the release because the ball was overthrown. But again, Tim, I'm not being too hard or critical on the guy. I'm just saying a fully engaged player knows the structure of the coverage. There is a single high safety that has to have range to cover that whole entire breadth of the field.
3rd and 3. Murphy's pass is a dart, but it's behind the receiver, Adonai Mitchell. And it's 4th down, and Texas will have to punt it back. Now this is a really difficult situation for Sark to massage with his backup quarterback, who's not been completely healthy this week in the game.
Well, this is the second time in as many weeks we've seen Dana Holgorsen with a scenario where it's probably going to be the next 4 important plays of his career on this one in terms of just weight and significance, man. Remember, as you said, partner, last week, you can only be first once. You can only be last once, right?
Absolutely. No, this game is about a lot of history, a lot of bad blood, and an opportunity for a lovely parting gift if you're Houston. He was hammered, he fumbled, and Texas has it.
And Texas got it.
Your worst-case scenario for Houston, and he's down.
No, Houston got it back.
Did Houston get it?
Houston got it back.
Yeah, apparently they got it back.
Wow.
On top of it, number 3, Jalen Emery. Boy, what a save that was. Because when he went down, it looked like, well, there were 3 horns all around it. Crawford made the hit. Robinson had a look. Tapp was down there. Oh, but Emery had the save. Fox College Football is sponsored by Geico. It's easy to Geico. Tim Brando, Spencer Tillman. Texas with a lead by 3. Missed an opportunity to fumble recovery at the 10, but boy, what a punt by Ryan Sanborn. 59 yards just when the Horns needed it most. Parker Jenkins now, twin backs. Look out. Great defensive effort there by Texas. He was twirled around. First hit, that was Jere Bledsoe, 94. Texas is so deep, they're so fresh, because they can go 3 deep in just about every position. Seen Burke in there, Finkley in there, now Bledsoe. 2nd down, 11 after a loss of 1.
4 wides. Let's see what voids they can find in this Longhorn back end. They've got pressure off the slot. The safety's coming down. That indicates that pressure is live. It's real. 23 coming off the slot. 21, the safety's going to keep it on.
Donovan Smith in trouble. Now he's going to run for the first time. And he scampers out of bounds just beyond the 10 to about the 12. And Spencer, I'm a little surprised that it's taken him this long to tuck it and run. He does pick up 4 there. That's something he's got on his side. And frankly, Pete Kwiatkowski is very happy that he's chosen to throw a lot more than run today.
Yeah, well, from a structure standpoint, Pete Kwiatkowski, the defensive coordinator for Texas, has had the proper numbers. So it's the structure of the defense that's going to dictate if he runs or not. When those linebackers come down and fill those gaps, that doesn't look appetizing to number 1. He's not going to take it.
3rd down and 7. Jenkins moves for wide receiver position, so they're empty with 5 wides. Teacup to the near side. Smith, crossing pattern. Brown, Samuel Brown. Look out, he's got great speed. Look out, he still has great speed. Trying to be run down and out of bounds. Atonement for Brown. A flag comes down. And 15 more. Taft with a tackle, but Anthony Hill with the extra hit, and that'll cost him.
And I know that Samuel Brown has the potential, Tim, and the talent to stay engaged. That's all I was doing and trying to admonish him to stay engaged and become a defender. But for that interception, maybe they're not even in this pickle right now that they're in. He's an explosive player, no question about it.
Oh, that was a big play. Texas had them right where they wanted them, Spencer.
Personal foul. Late hit out of bounds. Number 0. Defense. 15 yards will be added to the end of the run. First down.
Gavin Holmes is the injured Longhorn. The junior out of Archbishop Rummel, transferred over from Wake. Ball was on Houston's own 12, now the Texas 22. That's 51 on the play, 15 on the penalty, 66 total yards.
And you almost don't want to be in a hurry here, Tim.
No, you don't. You know, Hill, who got tagged for the late hit, was actually tripped into him. And then he hammered him. His own guy tripped him, Taft. It was pretty incidental, frankly, but officials add on to 15. He was well out of bounds. And concerned for that young man, Gavin Holmes, who's been a brilliant player at corner today for Texas. Sure hope he's okay.
Yep, he's been an outstanding player for them all year long, and it's that overall depth for Texas that's been impressive.
Yep. Let's go back to the big play, though, Spencer.
Yep. And so it's just a 4-man rush, Tim, and you can see it. Everybody's upfield, and Brown makes one guy, Taft, miss. Another guy, Holmes, is coming in there. That's where he gets hurt, and he steps out of it, does Brown, showing you the strength and ability to be aware of what he's dealing with, and then just goes and takes the sideline. I mean, that's just a wonderful job of a guy who's immensely gifted and talented making plays.
You see the 20-plus yard explosives. Houston's had more of them than Texas. That's a surprise. And by the way, something you concern yourself with your Houston circumstances, they've only got 1 timeout left in this game. They used 2 on defense, you might recall, to try to get a stop, and they did. But that was before Smith fumbled near midfield.
And, Tim, they're still in this match coverage here. You got 2 deep safeties, but what it's going to turn into is man. Unless 11 drops back on the hash. Okay, now they're changing it.
Smith pulls it down. He calls his number again. And he's knocked down hard at the 20-yard line. It's Barron, Jahdae Barron, with the tackle.
I don't like tall players that spin a lot. You know, the guy that's shorter has more chance of keeping his balance when he does spin and try to come out of it. I mean, Donovan does a great job of stepping out of tackles because he's so long and lanky, but when you're tall, Tim, you lose a great deal of leverage when you're trying to spin and stay high.
2nd and 8. Sneed the setback. Golden, the wide receiver, flank to the bottom of your screen. Sneed, great call. Inside the 15 to the 13-yard line.
A penalty comes out.
Here comes a helmet off.
What a dumb mistake. And again, I'm sorry, folks, but, you know, Matthew Golden, the receiver, pulls off the helmet of a defender on the other side. I don't get that. That was Terrence Brooks, the field cornerback. Don't get it. Well, you can't be selfish, man. This is your team out there on the precipice of doing something extraordinary.
Ball, personal foul, face mask, number 2, offense. 15-yard penalty. The down counts. It's 3rd down.
That is the very first penalty against Houston in this game, Spencer.
Yep.
And it could not have come at a more inopportune moment.
So now how do you spin this? If you're Dana Holgorsen, you say snap and clear, guys. I'm not so sure we needed to score so fast. Anyway, you reset and you come back, get your mindset. It's going to be 3rd down, right? Houston just went from 3rd down and 1 to 3rd and 16. That's problematic.
Well, Brown atoned for a mistake he made. Let's see what Golden could do. 3rd and 16. They go empty. Brown's got it at the 25. What a little shake, a little bake. And then he's rolled over by some horns, starting with Malik Muhammad, number 5. Well, they're in field goal range.
Yep.
And that'll bring Martin out. Gain 5 on the play. It's 4th down and 11. And they'll look to tie the game right here.
When they look back at the plays that define this game, boy, that penalty, that personal foul penalty
sure will.
is going to loom large.
Martin, the Alabama transfer.
This is for 40, right, Tim?
Yep, and 5 out of 5 on points after. 44 has been his longest. This is 40. Out of the hole to Lane Wilkins. Rainbow. That one is good, and it was high. I mean, some icicles could have come from the sky on that puppy. Almost went out of our frame there. We're tied at 24, and you see, it was Golden that was over there saying, my bad, to his quarterback. He may have cost his team 6, but they did manage 3. Coming up next on Fox, 14th ranked Utah takes on reigning Heisman Trophy winner Caleb Williams and the 18th ranked Trojans of USC. Our friends Jason Benetti and Brock Heward are standing by. They'll be coming your way on Fox as soon as we're done here. Utah has had their number. Beat them twice a year ago, including in the Pac-12 title game. This kick is high in the air, taken by Keelan Robinson. And look out, he's at the 35. Keelan Robinson past the 45. And hello, how do you do? The Horns have it in great territory at the 48-yard line. And this is what they're missing, though. Quinn Ewers, he's out. Got hit right there by Webu. And it was actually David who got hurt initially, but in the end, it would cost Ewers holding his chest. He went into the tent. Now he is in street clothes after going in and having them take a look. There is Arch Manning, who we were told was playing with the twos quite a bit during the preparation for this game. But for the moment, it is Malik Murphy, the redshirt freshman from Inglewood, California, that is in at quarterback. Very athletic talent. Brooks, Jonathan Brooks, cuts it back up and is stopped at the 48-yard line, gain of 5. 2nd and 5 coming up as Malik Robinson made the stop.
Got a down Cougar down on the field, but man, I just wanted to bring attention to Kelvin Banks Jr., number 78. They're really taking over the game at the line of scrimmage.
That's Caldwell who's holding his left knee.
Yep.
He's had a big game today.
Let's not forget, I mean, he's down, but 6 yards.
That ankle and foot seem to be turned the wrong way, Spencer.
That doesn't look good.
No, it doesn't. This may take a while. We'll hope and pray that he's okay. Timeout. Fox College Football is sponsored by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. As we were going to break, we were really concerned for Caldwell because it appeared because it looked like his ankle was pointed in a different direction than it needed to be, his left leg. And they were, at one point, it looked like they were massaging it as though it might be a cramp, which would be certainly better than an ankle turned the wrong direction. In either case, Spencer, not to speculate, but at 6'1", 325, it's going to take a while to get him up.
Well, I think you got to ask the question, who benefits the most from this situation?
He's got 2 sacks today, by the way.
He's got 2 sacks?
Yeah.
And so when you think about it, Doug Belt was the one who had to make the adjustment to bring in reinforcements and create an 8-10-man rotation to spell those big guys up front because he didn't have enough of them. So it benefits the University of Houston, to be sure. Texas has more numbers in that area. So I tell you, man, it's an interesting ending, Timmy, for the second week in as many.
Yeah, they're going to get a card out there to get him. And again, we certainly hope that it is more of the Charlie horse or cramping variety than it would be a turned ankle. And we were just judging from the direction that it was going in when he was holding that leg.
Well, you know this much. If they need the cart, he's not likely going to come back.
No. So we'll take another quick break. The crowd giving him a nice round of applause. State of Texas, what a wonderful place for college football. We're back. Jonathan Brooks sets sail inside the 35. And they were looking to strip the ball from him. You better make the tackle. Antonio Brooks does finally get him down. Jamari Caldwell was carted off the field. Got a nice ovation as he was.
That was good for 15 yards, Tim. You're right about going after the ball at this point.
Brooks out of the shotgun. That pass is thrown to Whittington. Jordan Whittington to the 25-yard line. Again, it's Malik Murphy in at quarterback. He had Brooks back there with him. Chose to throw it to Whittington. A pickup of 7, 2nd and 3.
These guys on the back end have got to get off these blocks on the edges. Everybody's manned up. That extra body helps.
Now it's Brooks. He gets to the second level so very quickly. Getting past Caesar that time for the first down. Gain of 7. We're tied at 24. Malik Fleming coming up there to polish him off. Brooks, nice little stutter step. And a hop, skip, and jump. A lot of choreography, not much production. Antonio Brooks will be credited with the tackle.
Yeah, and Isaiah Hamilton will not.
Yeah.
Hamilton goes over the top here. What a wonderful job of timing that thing up and catching nothing. Hamilton on the other end.
Looked like the triple jump. 2nd and 8. Worthy, the wide receiver to the bottom of your screen. Haven't called his name a lot.
Oh,
right
boy.
up the gut. There goes Baxter. CJ with a payday.
Talk about young players making an impact. Both these backs, C.J. Baxter, the 218-pound freshman, Tim. He's got good size on him. Watch him just read this one. Patience. Excellent job of those guys moving up there. DJ Campbell and company, the right guard, clearing the path for him. And he just goes to pay there. Let's see if Dane and the boys can match. 6 plays, 53 yards, a minute, 58 seconds.
Auburn with the extra point. And the Horns are back up by 7 with 5:37 left. And I mean, you're right. Campbell just turned his man around.
He really did. And that's all. Sometimes all you need to do is get in the way when you're running those inside zones. But, man, these guys are a little bit tired down there, Timmy.
And it certainly doesn't help the Texas cause when your quarterback hasn't had many opportunities to throw the ball. Coming into this game, he was 3 of 6 with Malik Murphy for 40 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. And it really is nice to be able to turn around and give it to an elite back, and they've got 3 of them. Both Brooks and Baxter were used by Sark in that sequence.
Yeah, Sark told us one of the 3 things that he did was to reorient himself with the skill set of some of the guys doing the break so that he could understand what they're majoring on and what they do really well. And that's important for a creative mind to be oriented as to the skill set of the talent he has available to him, particularly when injuries happen, as is the case tonight at quarterback, the most critical position on the field.
I know I've said it before, but it has to be mentioned. Matthew Golden's had 2 kick returns for touchdowns, and we've seen them both. He awaits this kick. And there will not be a return. A beautiful boot by Stone. And so Donovan Smith makes his way out. The Good Hands Playmaker, sponsored by Allstate. You're in good hands with Donovan Smith.
Well, he's been exceptional, Tim. He's moved out of the pocket when asked to do it, and he's hit enough accurate passes on the run to put his team in a position where they're just down by a score here, a possession. One of the things that we've seen him in this last couple of weeks, his arc of success has gotten much better, and his confidence has also accompanied that rise. I want to see him in this another critical situation go to that next level.
Dana Holgerson told us we absolutely had to have him. Out of the portal, that was the only guy he wanted to be his quarterback. And you know, the reason why no one else was really coming after him, he was a backup most of his career at Texas Tech. Never really won the job outright.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. Right to his man, Matthew Golden. All of that speed. And right away, they're at the 49-yard line.
Don't care what color the uniform is. I love to see the great execution. That's 24 yards gain, a laser. What did we just say before the break? This drive is important. How well will he execute and throw? Take advantage of the coverage. Texas is in a two-deep safety look right now. It's probably going to turn into some kind of match coverage. Those holes are still going to be up there for these receivers to take advantage of.
7th reception for Golden, 79 yards of receiving.
Just a 4-man rush inside zone should be good.
Jenkins. And nothing wrong with running the ball and let the clock go tick, tick, tick. You don't know how many more opportunities with the ball you're going to have if you're the Cougars.
Well, according to my calculation, this will be the last opportunity they have in regulation. There's no need to score fast in this situation, Tim.
2nd and 2. Brown to the top of your screen, Golden to the bottom. Jenkins the setback, and he was grounded for a moment, maintained his balance to forge ahead for a couple, but that's it. And Jalen Ford, boy, I love talking to him yesterday.
A sharp kid.
He is a guy that plays the Mike linebacker, but he has got the versatility to move almost anywhere Pete Kwiatkowski wants him. 3rd down and a long 2 here.
I think this is 4-down territory, and then to your point, Bleak and some of those other guys are going to be Fred Warner types, right? They're going to be covering tight ends and zone drops.
Smith's pass. He got his man Jack.
Got it.
Oh, did he drop it?
Did he drop it?
Did he drop it? I think he did. And he's
Jack's hurt.
Yeah, he got hammered. He got hammered. And I think it was the blow that cost him possession of the football. He was popped really hard. That's a pass he normally always brings in.
This is significant because it takes away the deep, proven middle threat that they have, and that's a similar shoulder shot, Tim, around the neck and head area.
Michael Taff with the hit.
Yeah, he's feeling that one a little bit. That
yes,
knee
he
goes,
is.
Anytime a thigh or a knee comes to the helmet, let me tell you, folks, there's very few things that hurt more than that.
Well, it gives them plenty of, remember, they've only got 1 timeout left. They had to use those 2 defensively in the 3rd quarter. And this does give them time to dial up whatever play they need on 4th down.
I'm glad he was reaching for his helmet. I thought he was going to the other side.
Yeah, he's going to be okay. And
tough kid.
You don't see Dana punting this, do you? On 4th and 2, might not get the ball back.
I don't see him punting it. But the kid from Tomball that's out of the game right now,
Tim. Timeout. I think he's got to go.
But that kid from Tomball is tough, man. And I don't know anybody that can really stress the middle of the field with sure enough hands. This is another one of those hidden, critical positions, man. The most important play of the game right here.
1 of 1 today. 1 of 1 today on 4th down.
This is the equivalent of not having yours in your offense. Man, Jack being out now.
Smith, pressure up the gut. He's got to run it. No, he's going to throw it, and he's got his man Golden. Golden comes away with a catch. What a big play. Huge moment here for Donovan Smith. I thought for sure he was going to run it when he tucked it away, but then Golden coming back to help him.
Former NCC State Torrey Holt coined the phrase, big plays, big days. For 9 yards, you saw it right there. Donovan is doing the job, man.
Gain of 9, 1st down. Ball at the 34. Smith.
Nice.
Over the middle. Carnes. And the former walk-on has it inside the Texas 20.
Carnes has become the new Man Jack. Slight of build, much smaller than Man Jack, but able to sacrifice his body over the middle of the field. That's where the weakness is in the structure of this defense. So with Man Jack going out and Carnes stepping up, that is big time.
Carnes is down the slot left. Again, Brown to the top.
They got it again if they want it.
Golden to the bottom. They give it to Jenkins, and he's hammered right at the point of attack. Big time hit. 45, Vernon Broughton, who had that fumble recovery earlier, the initial hit.
Well, Golden is like bullion here. He just never quits, man. He's golden and he's pure, and he goes across, recognizes, and then sits down. He doesn't continue first. He sits down and reads it as zone, and then sees that it is transformed into man, and then continues on.
Yeah.
That's a great job of just midstream changing your route.
Just keep on moving, right?
If it's man.
2nd down and 8. Trips to the top of your screen, and a timeout taken by Texas. They've got 2 left.
Texas has called their first charge timeout of the second half. It's be 30 seconds in length.
You don't think the college landscape is flat? Well, think again. This is a great Texas football team. Now, look, Ewers is out, and that hampers some of what that great play caller can put together late in the game. His running backs bailed him in that last series. But Spencer, Houston, ever since they got down 21-0, they've shown you what they're capable of, and we see it every week in college football. You may have the bigger brand. That doesn't mean that you are going to just come in and play that brand and that be all that it takes to win. Not in today's college football.
Tim, I'm going to have to go back and read Thomas Freeman's book, The World is Flat, after that. That's pretty good. You sold me, brother.
Well, you see the one-score games that they've had, and there have been many of them. Pensive looks on the part of these coaches.
Middle of the field, cover 2.
Look out. He's got Snead as running back in the slot to the left.
That's that tight end.
Out pattern right to him. O'Laughlin at the 10. They try to push him back, and he forges ahead. He'll only be about a yard shy of the first down, it would appear. And his height and size, 6'5", 250, Spencer. The West Virginia transfer just bowled over, and his size and that last surge got him pretty close.
Yeah, they're working him on the edges, so they're basically counter-punching, but where you use the tight end down here is through the seam. My seam is wide open versus this cover 2 concept.
Terrence Brooks, who absorbed that blow, is slow to get up, and he's going to have some assistance. Young man from Little Elm, Texas. Been a physical game. Texas had a lot of guys banged up. They needed that week off after the Red River rivalry game with Oklahoma. And it's been a physical game here again today against this Houston team that came in with intentionality.
Well, right now the intention is to find somebody in this receiving core. It could be a tight end that can sell the nod and get vertical really quick, because that's where the opportunities are going to be. You're not going to go deep. End zone is right there, and it's got to be delivered quickly.
BMW update is coming up immediately following our game before we get you out to USC and Utah. Sarge is standing by with Emmanuel Acho and Chris Peterson. 3rd and a yard to go.
They took the fade ball away from him up top. Just turn it into a quick slant. Unless 3 drops deep.
Snead off the left side. That surge looked to be enough. He got a quick surge and then was pushed back. Should be a first down.
When you talk about high drama here, how would you like to be in a situation where Dana Holgorsen has got 3 shots at the end zone?
Boy, oh boy, did he get a left foot mark? I thought he had a first down. At first glance, they're going to maybe take a measurement here. Take a look at it. Almost appears as though where he was pushed back is where now Texas takes a a dive. We've got a player that just went down.
Yeah. Well, Jack Freeman.
Almost on cue, and I mean, the fans are reacting to that. But Spencer, I thought his forward progress in real time was enough for the first down.
I did too. And right after it happened, Jack Freeman got up. He immediately, he's standing right on top of it and gets a helmet in there.
Yep.
He's signaling that it is a first down. He's standing right on top of the mark.
We gotta measure.
Sark doesn't think so.
Yep. Yeah,
He thinks it's fourth down, but I really thought before he was pushed back by Tavondre Sweat. Again, the line to make, really at the 9-yard line. Watch where he's right there. He's there. Now comes the pushback, and then see where they mark the football. If the mark is near the 10-yard line, the actual 10, then he was not given credit for all of that run with forward progress. But we'll see. Either way, they got to go for it. He got a left foot spot. He really did. And you see, I got my eyes on that. That's what Dana's saying.
Biggest call
of
your career right here, man.
Again, look where the forward progress is stopped. Ball is at the 9. And then 93 engulfs him and pushes him back. Old saying, if you get a right foot spot, you have a first down. You get a left foot spot, you're not there.
My position is if you can take Manjak's touchdown away from him with that angle, that right there should be a first down.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just saying.
It's 4th and inches, folks. This is your ball game right here. Houston has been perfect on 4th down. They'll need to be perfect again, and they only need inches.
I don't like short yardage situation in gun. That's the only thing about it against a superior defensive front.
They're going to roll him out. Pass is incomplete. Broken up. Stephon Johnson, the intended receiver. Texas takes over. And that spot will be talked about for a long, long time.
Didn't like the call. Great job by Texas, man. They can only play the defense in front of them. There you see he's rolling out, and Donovan has done a wonderful job of being accurate today on that one play. It was low and inside. Missed it.
Huge stop. You can see how upset Dana is. I'm with you. You cannot get an inside run against that defense. This is the 3rd down now. Again, watch where forward progress is stopped. Boom, right there. He's at the 9. Head is, ball is. And then the force of Tavondre Sweat pushing him back cost him at least a half yard. And that's your ball game. Texas will come out of here with a deep breath saying, boy, did we escape. And we certainly hope Quinn Ewers is going to be okay. But for Dana Holgorsen, Spencer, though it's not a victory, based on what happened in that West Virginia game, I think the fans here, the alumni base, his athletic director, the many donors they have here at Houston, they can say, you know what? We do belong in the Big 12.
Well, after making the jump up to the Big 12, the AAC, I think they've acquitted themselves extremely well.
No question.
They were probably looking to get a split here among Texas teams. Had a chance to do that against a team that's a top 10 team. That's a good position to have been in.
And for Steve Sarkisian and staff, they escape in a very big way. BYU coming up next, and then Kansas State at home. But boy, oh boy, this was a hard-fought one. And Dana, of course, and Steve Sarkisian have great respect for one another. And Spencer, I think that Donovan Smith also grew a great deal in today's game.
I think he really did, Tim. And again, and it's ironic because 2 of the games that he grew in were losses, right? A couple of weeks ago, Texas Tech, 5 touchdown passes in that. He set 6 different career highs today. Maybe some errant passes early on, but when he came up with those big passes were clutch situations. You prosper and get better as a result of that.
Absolutely you do. And it's all in front of Texas.
Yep.
They still, all you got to do is win out, hope for an Oklahoma rematch in the Big 12 title game. This is the 4th down play. You didn't like this call.
I didn't like the call again. I like the sleight of hand, the idea of trying to roll out when you only got a few feet. You're not going to challenge them from a physical standpoint. But to me, when you throw the ball, 3 things can happen.
Yep.
It can be caught, it can be intercepted, or incompleted. 2 of those 3 are bad. I just didn't like that. I understand it.
I know DeAndre Smith, his dad, who coaches with the Colts, is looking on as he was a week ago Thursday night when they got the Hail Mary to go, Spencer. But he can be proud of his son. And listen, Steve Sarkisian, I'm sure, is talking to his guys saying, hey, we lost our quarterback. We had to play a quarter and a half without him. Virtually had to disdain the passing game altogether. And we still used our backs, Baxter and Jonathan Brooks. And that was the difference in the game. And oh, by the way, good news for the athletic director now at Texas. The great DeLoss Dodds is gone. But Chris Del Conte can say, you know what, we'll never have to sit there again.
Well, they've been patient, man, with the lights on. Even when it was hot, Timmy, they were there supporting their ball club. And again, both teams can be excited about how they played today.
It was great to hear the eyes of Texas so many times. I certainly hope that we have a chance to go to Austin, Spence, one last time before they head on to the Southeastern Conference. On the other side, we're going to take you to Emmanuel Acho, Chris Peterson, and Mike Hill. For Spencer Tillman, our entire staff, the great Scott Alexander, Jeremy Rakes, who helped with official stats, and Brett Bender, our spotter. Tim Brando saying so long from Houston. Another great one. Stay tuned for more on Fox.